hello simps and virgins, and welcome back to
Landed.
Krown's Communist Cave.
What the fuck was that? We did not agree to this announcement here today, and what the fuck? Hey, I'm sorry everyone. She's from Finland. They're basically like Russians, and they just don't know that they did not win World War II. Oh yeah, you're mad now. You're real fucking mad now. If you really want to get under Elsa's skin, call her a little Russian. Oh, you little Russian over there. You're so cute. Yes, indeed. Welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave, or the Air Krown Crypto channel. We got plenty to talk about today because we do have a weekly closure coming in for CME today, and also a big daily closure for Bitcoin spot price action as well. So there is actually plenty to talk about. We are looking for range resolution. We actually didn't get it yesterday, obviously. Bitcoin still playing between about 56 and 59. And I am going to have some sombering shit to talk about today. Well, it's going to be balanced out. Yeah, we need to balance it out. We can't just talk about all sorts of sombering details. We can talk about all sorts of fun stuff as well. So I'm going to fuck some minds today. Anyways, with that said, I would like to wish you a happy and healthy start to this nice Friday before we get into this mind fucking, and let's get into the Krown Chain application, which we found at app.crunchy.net. And holy fucking moly, man, I do see a ton of people in here right now, almost 1,000 people watching, 262 likes. That is amazing. Nikki Page, good morning. Wait, what? What are you doing here exactly? Nikki Page, good morning to you. Rocky G, Randy Fox, our new moderators. Philson, there he is. Jack, good morning, my friends. NY Therio, Jack Frost, Philosophian. I am Charlie. Welcome, sir. I haven't seen you here before, so good to meet you. Luca Hine, there he is. Neil. Who else do we have? I see Elsa. That's cool. Sorry, couldn't help myself, man. Anyways, let's waste no more time. Let's get into the Krown Chain application over here, which we found at app.crunchy.net. It is for the price of $0.0. It is also found in the link description below. And what do we see? We do see that the Fear and Greed Index actually still kind of maintained within the fearful zone at a 32 read. You know, we do expect this to kind of stay within the overall fearful zone, you know, for like a week to 2 weeks on the major lows, as we did see back in September when it did spend about 10 days in the, more accurately said, very, very fearful zone before putting a major, $20,000 rally, or actually almost $30,000 rally to be fair, 40,000 to 69,000 bucks. Great number right there. But as far as top 10 best coins go, we don't really see any like major massive winners in the last day. I mean, I say that in Oasis Network went up 12.5%, but in cryptocurrency land, you know, that's that is a far cry away from 20 to 30%, which we have been seeing rather consistently over the past few weeks here. Anyways, Terra, Cosmos, Cardano is there. IOTA, OKB, Stellar, and IOTEX, and Harmony, and Cello all on the winners list with some decent gains, to be fair. Anyways, into the market data tab we go. Here's where all the fun action is going down right now. As the global funding rates still remain below parity at 0.007%. So that does mean that on average, you are still paying to hold your long positions on these leverage exchanges, but there certainly are exchanges that are going to be a negative rate, which means that you are getting paid to hold your longs. Now, with all of that in mind, what has Bitcoin done? Pretty much fuck all. So the pain points are still the same, and that does mean that there is going to be a lot of rocket fuel above or below those pain points as dictated by the global open interest over here, which is still pretty much, as far as I'm concerned, at all-time highs. I mean, it's incredibly up there, and the leverage ratio absolutely astronomical as well. And we do see another day of big exchanges in flows, actually. So this is 2 days in a row where we've seen pretty much an outlier as far as Bitcoin being flown to exchanges. So what are they doing that for? To add more margin to their trades, right? To add more margin to their trades. Well, you can deduce that usually when you see something like that, it's usually not to go buy more Bitcoin. Anyways, I don't want to scare anyone with that right now. I still do think that Bitcoin, regardless of whether you're bullish or bearish, probably puts in a rally from where we're at right now, or maybe a little bit lower, before any sort of, dastardly price action. But into the third data tab we go. I want to once again follow up on the Fear and Greed Index over here at a 32 read. And yes, just kind of going back to our September lows when Bitcoin was putting that macro base at about $40,000. We did spend about $10, or sorry, not $10, but 10 days within the very, very fearful zone right there. And of course, on the last major macro low in the summer when Bitcoin was hovering around 30,000 bucks, that took about 3 months. So do I think that we're dealing with something like this over here? No, I do not. If Bitcoin is going to be ending up to be overall bullish, I'd be expecting something like this over here. So with that in mind, we've kind of been within this zone for the past for the past week now. So it would be suggesting that we do have a resolution kind of in line with that relatively soon, sooner rather than later, probably within this next few days. I am always very skeptical of weekend price action, of course, but as we do have a weekly closure for CME today, that is really going to help kind of gear out what to be looking for over the weekend, especially. So let's waste no more time. Let's get into the price action charts right now. Or should I mention anything else? I see that we got 460. What the fuck? The likes just doubled in the last 2 minutes. What the hell? 1,200 people watching. Good morning to everyone out there. Don't know what the... Was it the communist intro? I think he scared everyone away. Uh-oh, we done goofed now. It's all over. And by the way, I might be getting a little bit sick. I don't know, but if I feel like I have to go, I'll just have to go. So fair warning in advance, but I'm feeling all right now. So all good. Got my morning coffee in, got my morning walk in. It's negative 20 degrees Celsius right now. Yeah, get a load of that. Just fucking ridiculous, man. Anyways, so what do we have here on Bitcoin? Same thing on the short-term time frames, right? 56,000 bucks to the downside versus 59,000 bucks to the upside. I always have to be very, very careful with the way that I relate these concepts now that we have a lot of new people here, which is great. I'm really, really happy to welcome all the new people here, but please do understand when we are talking about ranges, I need to see closures unless spoken otherwise above or below these regions. And until then, this has been essentially the trade is buy the lows, sell the highs, obviously, but within that range context. So I do not call this a resolved range as long as Bitcoin is again below 59. Even on an hourly closure, I think that could actually do it. Although if we are going to use hourly closures, I'd say 59,350 on a full hour. Yeah, 59,000 bucks is fair game. In below 56,000 bucks right in over here. Now, if Bitcoin does break below 56,000 bucks, I'm still looking at the same thing as before, where Bitcoin very likely comes back down, fills the old gapola right here from last Friday closure on CME, and then very likely bounces up. Now, with that in mind, if Bitcoin does just, put in a low right here, which we actually do have several indications that Bitcoin very likely rallies off the short-term timeframes, as we do have multiple drives of bullish evidence on both CME and spot price action, as you can see right here. And I think that's building up to a 3-hour time frame. Let me just double check. Yes, indeed it is. We do have a potential, but not confirmed just yet. I would be looking for one more run towards the top side, very likely, of this descending trend line that's been holding Bitcoin's highs in for the last like month or so now, I do suspect, which is all the way just above 58,000 bucks. That would not be a range resolution, however. And whilst I do have this charted out right here, this being this massive falling wedge, which I actually do think will operate as a falling wedge, I would be very hesitant to call the full measured move, the full implied target, if it is resolved, which resolution would be validated above, again, 59,000 bucks, specifically on a higher term time frame. So going to be looking at something like this. And yes, I would be looking for a nice full on move towards about 61,500 in the following days. Very likely a short term pullback from there. And then, march it up one after the next, I suppose. Still have to be cognizant of the 618 Fibonacci retracement right here. Obviously, the reason being because that is where I would be expecting lower highs if this is going to turn out to be bearish. And I think that there are some really good reasons to be considerate of a major macro bear case. The reason, the biggest reason, or it's not necessarily a macro bear case. Sorry, I need to be careful with my words here. I apologize. I take that back. What I'd be looking for, don't want to scare the shit out of everyone right now, but what I'd be looking for if we were to get something like that, weakness around the 63,000 bucks region or 64,000 buck region, would be kind of what we spoke about before, in the sense that I'd be looking for Bitcoin to kind of fill out the macro range, something like this. And still, Bitcoin coming down to 50,000 bucks would be actually quite bullish on the macro scale. But that would obviously fuck with a lot of people's, just fuck with a lot of people, because people either want bull now or bull never, And realistically, I'm not going to be bearish on a chart that looks like this. This is very obviously consolidation to myself. We do see a tailing off of volume from left to right, and we do see that volatility metrics are obviously contracting throughout here as well, basically since Bitcoin put in its all-time highs. So I do think that is more likely to fill out this region, to be quite honest with you, over the next few months. Could that come with a first day move to 63,000 bucks or 64,000 bucks? Yes, I do think so. Not only because of what we spoke about over here with that potential technical formation going on, but also, as I've been mentioning, on the daily PMRP over here, of which I've been getting a lot of questions about. Yes, if you're looking for the goddamn PMRP, hey, listen really fucking close, because I'm not going to answer another goddamn email about this. For the love of God, sorry, I'm just being an asshole right now. I'm cranky, all right? I'm not feeling too great. Anyways, first, line plot type, PMRP, for the love of fucking God. And then you can put your look back period to whatever. I like 100, and then 20 in VWMA. All right, there we go. Anyways, we have noticed that whenever PMRP does get into this green horizontal zone right here, the results have been rather consistent over the last year, and probably even before that as well, though I haven't bothered really testing all them back there, just because, this one is good enough. And I can just run you through a few iterations right here. Again, this taking, months to actually occur, but from the last major low at 40,000 bucks with that signal met, the next 21 days, so over the next 3 weeks. So we did see about a 40% move. Not bad. The one before that was way on over here, May 19th, after the big dumpola, the 50% dumpola right there. And immediately Bitcoin did bounce up about 45% off the lows in the next 48 hours. Now, of course, Bitcoin did not get the reversal, more importantly, until about 3 months later. But no, we did not have any closures lower than that first wick to the downside, to be fair. So that is what matters most. And then, of course, the one before that was right here, coming off of the April dumpola, which was your first sort of signatures of reversal coming off of, the March highs, the March and May highs, the April highs, apologies. And even though that this did lead into a lower high, which could be very similar to what we're looking at right now, it was still a 25% bounce. Now, I'm not going to go through all of the iterations here. We've done this many times. I don't want to bore the shit out of people and take too long rehashing old information, but what would that look like if we were to kind of add on the lower end about 25% to our current lows after that signal was met, which was right here actually? Well, that would actually be in line with the measured move off of the falling wedge target, which would be about 65 to 67,000 bucks. So if that does play out, then that would obviously negate any potential lower high, and Bitcoin would obviously be macro bullish, and we would be looking at major moves probably towards 80 to 90,000 bucks over time following those conditions being met. So I'm not saying that it's over for the bulls. I just want to represent the bearish case. It's not necessarily like a full-on bearish case because still the macro would be bullish, but the daily downtrend case accurately here, because it is worth preparing for, as I want to show you one other thing with this right here, which someone brought up yesterday, and I really appreciate this because I did not, let's actually type it in right, but I did not consider this before, so major shout out to you. I forget actually who it was, but I want to give you major credit for this, and this is the Tether dominance chart. And what's interesting to me about this chart is that it has accurately gotten the long-term trend changes in Bitcoin, and right now it seems to be putting in a major low, obviously a higher low as well, although I don't think that that matters as much. It's just the current direction of it matters more, and this does look like a major low being put in right now. Do we have hidden bullish divergence over here? Actually, we do not, so that would be, I guess, one comforting factor, I suppose. But if we overlay a chart of Bitcoin here, which we can do very, very quickly, like this, then you will, did I just goof this up? I think I just goofed this up. Motherfucker, I done goofed it up. Hold on. I think that we can do this. Yeah, okay, we can fix this really quickly. It ain't too bad. Okay, let's bring this one up right here. Okay, beautiful. And, oh no, I actually wanted it on the other pane. Let's see, let's put it on log scale. Motherfucker. All right, well, whatever. I give up on this one. I had it yesterday, but Trading View done goofed on me yet again. Anyways, what I can assure you of, and what we can go through very quickly right here, is that yes, the last time that we did see this major upside move from March on this low right here to obviously ending in July, you already know where this is going. That was essentially that was essentially Bitcoin initiating its major downtrend from 60,000 all the way down to 30,000, and then obviously, ending in July, and it's been down ever since. And now, looking like we're going to put in a low. Of course, the time before that, September 2020, where Bitcoin was essentially around 10,000 bucks, around its prior macro highs, we did see a major downtrend here going all the way to, March and April, where Bitcoin put in the $60,000 highs. And again, you can backtest this yourself, but I do think that is worth preparing for. It's not actionable like in this exact moment, but fair enough. And, while I don't know if I trust this too much right here, you do see one macro trend line coming in. I really don't care too much for diagonal trend lines. They're very finicky, and, usually they should line up with horizontals anyways. But in this case, it would be confluent with that sort of a more dastardly look right there. So I do want to kind of accurately represent that. And again, that would even be coming after a nice move to the upside. So my fear here is that Bitcoin is going to actually play that move out to the upside, somewhere around 61 to 64,000 bucks. Get everyone bullish again, because for whatever reason, people are looking at 61,000 bucks as like the big level. We reclaimed 61,000 bucks, and we get our Santa rally. We get our Santa rally. That's right, guys, the Santa rally that we deserve. Because I've been in this market for 6 months, and I haven't seen enough gains, man. I'm still at break even. Fuck. I deserve this, man, for my loyalty to hodling. It's like, what the fuck did I just hear? What the fuck did I just hear? Markets don't give a fuck about your loyalty. What the hell? What the fuck is this, man? That sounds like some communist cave bullshit. Oh man, I'm fired up today. You don't deserve shit. Santa Claus is bringing a bag of red big old dildos for your throat, and he's shoving them down this Christmas. Probably not, but fair enough. Anyways, sorry, man. I'm just getting excited right now. So Elsa says, why are you yelling if your voice is already fucked? Doesn't matter. There's more important things in life. All right. So let's talk about this over here. Again, I do think that Bitcoin probably has a better chance of rallying off this current levels right here. You know, you're probably going to be interpreted this as massively bearish, but fair enough. Hey, what's up, Nimbo? There he is. What's up, man? Anyways, I want to bring you over to momentum charts over here. And Caretaker has a new piece of magic going on right now. We'll probably announce this a little bit later, but pretty fucking cool over here. I will just, we don't need to explain it right now. Anyways, momentum oscillators on the lower term timeframes, are they turning up or are they turning down? Well, yes, they're actually turning up right now. 4 hour closure above 56,500, which is coming in 1 hour, 34 minutes, and 9 seconds. Will shift 4 hour Stokes back onto the upside. And back above the critical zone, which would be, you know, more or less good. 3 hour, we expect to be leading that in, and that will actually turn up about the same level as well. 56,600 by hourly is already up above 56,600 as well. So same numbers coming in multiple times now. And hourly is also up as long as above 56,550. So all of the lower term timeframes are pretty much on the same schedule right there. Even the hourly has a bit of a trend line forming right here, which I don't really think is that, you know, that meaningful, to be honest with you. But overall, lower term timeframes likely to put in a bit more of a bounce. We already spoke about short term timeframe bullish divergences building up, but again, that is not calling a range resolution. Range resolution is only had with the closure above 59,000 bucks on a minimum of 4 hour, preferably higher than that even, or an hourly above your last wick high from this range, which is like 59,350 or 59.5 or whatever it is. One of those two would do it for me, and then yes, I'd be looking for first move up towards about 61.5 or so, very likely a pullback there, and then we get to play the game of, is this going to be another lower high on the daily or not, because we still do not have an actual official reversal on the daily. Not that there needs to be one, obviously. Maybe there just isn't one, you know, at which case that would obviously be bullish. But if Bitcoin puts in any sort of a lower high below 64,000 bucks, that is going to be very, very concerning, again, because it would be extremely similar to what we saw on over here. And there are other concerning factors like the Tether dominance, and also the global situation as well, or not the global situation, but mainly the U.S. situation, which the old saying goes: if when the U.S. sneezes, when the U.S. sneezes, everyone else gets sick, right? And what's going on right now? So the Fed is now talking about aggressively tapering. I know that people have their reservations with that because of X, Y, and Z, and fair enough. There is, you know, legitimate reasons to be skeptical about that, but it's already happening. And here's the thing: as they pull back liquidity from the markets, you can expect that it's not gonna do well for risk on assets. I just point blank fucking period. I'm not gonna feed you fucking hopium right now. Look, it's not gonna be good. It's not. It will effectively call the end of most upside markets. Maybe not immediately, but over time, absolutely fucking yes. It's just, it's not gonna be good. I'll tell you that straight up. So. I know that people have all sorts of wild ideas about this, and that's great. But at the same time, you know, that will happen at some point. And, you know, this is a liquidity bubble right now. Money's very easy to come by. And as the Fed's and just the monetary policy tightens, well, you can expect that liquidity will be withdrawn from the markets. And with liquidity being withdrawn from the markets, there ain't going to be as many people looking to BTFD in traditional land. And if they ain't doing it in fucking traditional land, they definitely ain't going to be doing it in Bitcoin land as well. So I do want to be very, you know, cognizant of this. It's coming, no doubt about that. The question is when and how fast, because it does seem like, you know, it does seem like things are starting to be prepared for sooner and sooner, because it's now a part of the whole public consciousness that inflation is a problem. You know, it's the big I word right now, and the Fed feels like they have to do something about it. Otherwise, you know, people are going to be mad and they're probably going to vote out the current administration. And so they put pressure on them as well. It becomes like a whole fucking self-fulfilling prophecy, obviously. You know, perpetuated by, I mean, basically the media and just public sort of opinion, which is funny because people think that they're usually against them. No, they're actually quite in line with them right now. So it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, which, you know, that's just the reality of it. That's just the fucking reality of it. And, you know, for better or worse, that's what you have to prepare for. Anyways, I also want to bring up one more sort of concerning thing on the higher term timeframes here. Again, with the overall understanding that short term timeframes, they will have a chance. This is certainly very much unconfirmed for right now as far as what I'm talking about. Perhaps this is just doom and gloom for no potential or no relevant purpose. And again, you know, Bitcoin can pop back up very easily to 64,000 bucks and still play this out. In fact, I think that's probably more likely, to be fair. But what do we have over here? Well, we do have a couple things. So we got the new monthly closure opening up for December, obviously, and the accumulation distribution indicator over here, the net delta indicator, essentially has not just remained in a downside slope posture, it's actually increased its downside slope. So that does imply that we've been looking at distribution this whole way through, or just a net sell. And on top of that, and what's very concerning to me is the MFI. So this is money flow index. I typically don't talk about this, but look, I'll just show you this fucking chart. Look. I don't think you need to see more than this. It's very obvious that, well, it's very fucking obvious. I'll just leave it like that. I don't want to explain too much onto this one. But again, Bitcoin can come all the way down to 48,000 bucks and still be macro bullish. Come all the way down to 45,000 bucks, still be macro bullish. So I just want to have that sort of in the back of my mind's eye to prepare for. Of course, short-term timeframes, as long as Bitcoin's above, especially 56,000 bucks, I'm not even looking for that gap fill down to 53.5. But I would be looking for that major move only if, to the downside first, only if, and I don't think that this is what's happening, but if this did happen, this is what I'd be looking for. Only if we get a closure, even on a 4-hour time frame, below about 53,500 in this case. If you see something like that, then the gap fill play is not going to be like the play that I'm looking for. And well, I'd be looking for next move down to about 51. 51,000, somewhere around there. Very likely a big bounce, and then come back to it after that. So again, short-term timeframes more likely to give another bounce here. And I do think that Bitcoin Bulas will have a chance. Obviously, again, I'm trying to be as careful as I can with my language, just because I don't want to be misheard. As I guess it's kind of impossible not to be, but at the same time, it's a difficult situation right now. Anyways, I think we got through all of that. We are 31 minutes into this video. I see that there's already way too many goddamn chats. I gotta warn you well beforehand, man. I am not feeling top notch today. So it could, if I do start to, if my throat really starts to hurt, I will actually have to leave the stream. But I'll do my best for now. I'm gonna turn on the alerts and see what we can do. And let's see. We got Bless This Community. Nice name, by the way. Nice name. Hey, Krown, can you please look at Shisha? This sounds legit as fuck. Oh, nice. Great name for a shitcoin. It's impossible to say. What the fuck is this, man? Okay, this is an hourly. Let's go to a daily. What the fuck is this again, man? This is terrible. This is absolutely god-awful, man. What the hell is this? Are you seeing a bit of a reversal here? I mean, maybe, but you got a lot of work to do still. As long as you're above 5 cents, or what is this, 0.5 butyrols, then I'm... Look, I don't fucking trust a chart like this. This is what the real chart looks like. It's garbage, whatever it is. You are going to get your rallies, obviously, but where do your lower highs come in around? Well, let's see where the pain points are. I think best it does the upside is somewhere around 0.075 or so, and I'll just be looking for lower highs right there. I don't know what the hell this thing is. I don't know what the hell this thing does, but apparently it just likes to go down versus Mr. Vitalik Butyrol over there. It's not great, unfortunately. I feel like I missed something else. I do want to say a massive thank you for all the likes on this video. We're already at almost 1,000. We got 1,800 people watching. Insane, just fucking insane, man. What the actual hell? And let's see. Killer Bow 95 says Matic daily and weekly. Sure, we can do that one. That one was one of the few ones that was in a pretty damn good posturing from yesterday. I suspect that it probably pulled back, and it did, and now looking really, really good, actually. Really, really phenomenal response right here. This one's in a great posturing for today's closure, anywhere above 2.25, and I'm still saying the same thing as before. First move up, somewhere around about 240, very likely another short-term pullback right there, but long-term, that would initiate a more, much significantly deeper technical target, all the way up to around about $3.50 in line, I believe, with the 2-spot 272 Fibonacci extension right there. Again, be aware of some areas of interest along the way, that being between about 240 first stop and 280 second stop, but long term this would look quite good. Weekly, same shit as well. I mean, this one's just about ready. This is a really good setup. Again, what do we have? Expanding volatility, and this is on a weekly, by the way. Weekly RSI back in the bullish control zone after a little bit of accumulation around the neutral zone. Beautiful, just fucking beautiful. This is one of the best charts for this week, and very much primed right here. Very, very interesting one, and hopefully that was helpful. I should offer up an invalidation on this. In this case, going to be pretty much the same thing as yesterday. I think yesterday I did say 190. I would still say at 190 for right now. That would destroy the more medium momentum, or sorry, the medium-term bullishness. Until then, this one's looking quite good, pretty much on all time frames that matter. Daily volatility already lifting off there as well. So I expect that this one is, ready, quite good. All right, let's see. Mamba for Life says Sand USD on Binance pumped to 720 and dumped. Thoughts and outlook, please. Could just be a pump and dump, man. Could just be a pump and dump. Okay, so pumped up to 720. That's not a pump, sir. And I don't see. Yeah, I'm actually on Binance right now. So you're talking about this one right here. Irrelevant for the most part. It also didn't necessarily get up to 720. I see 705. Not that it really matters, but. Look, as long as you do hold the higher lows, it's okay. This is to be considered a bullish consolidation, not on a 4-hour. I charted this one for a daily specifically. Forgive me though if I have my concerns. No, skepticism is a better word. Forgive me if I have my skepticism that this one does pull through exactly from here. But again, sideways is good for the bulls. If I'm charting this one for a 4-hour. And this is not a dump, man. This is still a higher low. If I'm charting this one for the 4-hour, I remain, I guess, bullish on it just due to my natural proclivities as long as you're above about 585. I actually will record one on this one because I think it'd be a good one to... Sir, are you okay over there? Are you shaking? It's cold. It's not that cold in here. All right, here we have Sandbox symbol SAND versus the dollar. One of the better runners for the past couple months here. Now going into consolidation at best, and we still do have our higher lows, which is good. And if you are charting this one on the 4-hour, I do look at this as a healthy consolidation as long as you're closing 4-hour deltas above 575 in this case, and any price action between 575 and your $8 upper boundary is to be considered, I suppose, bullishly biased on a resolution. But what would constitute a resolution in this case? Need to see a 4-hour closure above $8 even. That would do it for me. Until then, daily still holds actually rather well. So I do think that it will have a chance, but I do want to once again express that at best, this thing very likely trades sideways for a while and fills out this area. The reason why I said that is because volatility hit 2 extremes right here and now contracting. So that does tell us that we're very likely going into a more prolonged consolidation. And also we did have some pretty major drives of bearish divergence on the daily RSI as well. So overall, again, as long as it holds this area right here, good. I just don't suspect that it'll be doing anything super interesting anytime soon. In short term, I would be having, I suppose, a bias that it does retest back up somewhere around this wick high, actually at 7. That one's actually whipping around. That is weird. Somewhere around 715 to 720 or so is probably what I'd be looking at short term, as this one does have many drives of bullish evidence right here. Let's talk about what happens if this one fails. However, with a closure below about 575, I would be looking for a nice big old move down to just below $5 in this case, somewhere around about 490 to 485 or so, and then come back to it after that. Until then, we actually have a lot more good short-term signals. And hey, what if I'm wrong and this one actually does just bust through right here instead of consolidating for a while? Where I'd be looking towards next? Well, we could just probably adjust this for this one. It's actually quite similar. Good symmetry within this market. I'd be looking at a target towards about 9.25 to 9.5 or so in the following days after that. So not bad. And hopefully that was helpful for Sandbox Sir. Nice. Very nice. Anyways, let's see. Frank Nardilio says, hope you're having a great day. Thanks, man. I hope that you're having a great day as well. Yep, we just got Maddox, so all good. And again, we only do one at a time, so I can do Cardano bullshit for you, no problem. Where do I think it's going for end of December? Kind of a difficult question to ask. I can tell you about where I get bullish and where I get bearish on it, but literally talking about where it's expected to be at the end of the month, I think it's kind of a fool's errand. I've never really been able to see anything like that being done. But for right now, I do like this as a local low. I do think that this one will trade higher from here. Again, as we said yesterday, it's a shitty chart overall, no doubt about that. But do I think that you're putting in a major low right here and you try for a rally, maybe even back up to $2? Yes. Does that happen before the end of the year? Probably. So where does it end at the end of the year? I don't fucking know. There's no way to know that, man. There's no way to know that. Problem is, you're probably going to ask a shit ton of people on the internet that, and someone's going to tell you an answer, and I highly doubt that they're going to actually know for certain that that is possible. But I do think that it has a nice low end right here and probably rally somewhere between about $1.90 to $2 or so. This is not a reversal call on this thing, though. This is not a reversal call. This is still an absolutely terrible chart at best, but now that I look at it, maybe I am wrong about this, because you do have a potential hidden bullish divergence drive if this does come from a local low here, which I think that it will, and that will have targets back up into the 210 to 220ish range. That would start to look a lot better. Again, I don't know if that happens exactly at December 31st, 2021. I don't fucking know, but that would start to look really, really good for the macro if that actually did happen. And end of cycle. The cycle might have already ended, man. Who knows about that as well? It really depends on whatever Bitcoin does. Hey, what's up? I am Charlie. Welcome to the cave as well, man. Good to meet you, sir. And oh shit, I want to remind all the people who are subscribed to this channel. So if you're actually, I'll just quickly show you. So if you're actually, just to explain it really quickly, if you're on this thingy right here, like you joined the YouTube channel, I'm not talking about the Krown chain applications. There's been a lot of confusion about this. You do have some extra videos available for you. I just wanted to kind of leave them there as a little bit of a stealth mission as a thank you. Basically some very just basic sort of TA and trading 101 playlist, but something that I'm actually rather proud of as well. I think it's well and streamlined. So that's there for you to view if it is relevant and of value. And I'll probably even end up posting some live trades there too. Why the fuck not? As I've been doing actually some on Femex recently. Probably should shill them to to make them happy. No, just kidding, man. But I do have a link towards them in the link description below. They do have a deposit bonus, as always. Though, don't fucking leverage trade if you're not already a successful trader. It's not wise. It's only it's very likely to end in losses, and you don't need to. And more importantly, you just don't need to. You don't need to risk finances while you're in the learning phase. So I'd strongly suggest that, realistically, it's only, even if you are already successful, going over there, are they going to have as good as liquidity as Bybit? I've not noticed that, to be fair, just yet, but it has been proven it ain't so bad right now. I mean, you can get on a market position, a million contracts like rather easily, which I think is fine for most people. Blockchain Barber says, hey, greetings to you as well, man. KDA 4, 6 and month and yearly. Okay. And wait, what? Oh, sorry. I read that completely wrong. I apologize, man. All right, let's bring it up over here and let's see what this one is doing. We haven't looked at this one in like a couple of days and still going sideways. I do think that this one is going to trade down from here. However, probably does give you another run out. I think last time we looked at this, I said another run somewhere around about, what is this, 13? 13 and a half or so? What?
I think we should close the super chat 9.
Close the super chats at 9? We can maybe go, I mean, how many do we have right now? Okay, yeah, they are kind of building up. So yeah, we probably will have to shut down the super chats. I mean, they're just getting like too crazy. I really do appreciate it. Like, again, I don't want to sound ungrateful. It's cool that people even happen to give a fuck about what I think to begin with, but man, they are getting out of hand, and there's not like a better way to sift through them as well. Anyways, Cadena, I do think that this one is corrective at best short term, very likely coming back down to $15.50. I like to see a break below there before I look for that next move down to $13, even though I do think that is rather likely overall. But when we go over here to our medium term timeframes, same thing, volatility on the ground, hidden bearish divergence on the last local high, not great. 12-hour, same shit. This one's put in a bit of a distributive phase right here with these lower highs. I really don't like that. Overall, daily is probably gonna be the same. Indeed it is. I only switch around my opinion on this one back above this local high right here, which is about $20. Above $20, things start to look a lot better again for the boo laws. I imagine that if Bitcoin pulls through, this one probably will pull through as well, but pressure down as long as you're especially below $19, $20. And short term, I do think that it will test at minimum $15.50. A break below there on a 4-hour closure, and I would be looking for this one to trade down somewhere into like the mid to low 13s after that. And hopefully that was helpful. And I need to take a sip of this water right now. Oh, ma'am. What? Okay, cool. RM says block USD 4 in daily. Sure, man. Oh my god, they just keep on coming. This is like absurd. This is getting absurd, man. All right, what do we have on block? Same shit as before. Did come down to the bottom end of our descending triangle in the short-term timeframes, but well, I would be looking for a bounce from here. I mean, we do have some bullish divergence come off that low right now. The question is, can the bounce bring it back above your last little lower high at 1388 or 1390, let's just say. As long as you're below there, I do think that this one will eventually trade lower before trying to get higher. I do like this one, however, on your daily right here. I just think that I'd just be defensive if you do lose the bottom side of your range at like 10.5 cents or so, that you'd be very likely looking at a move somewhere down around 9 cent base, which is a big move on a, just 10 cent, 11 cent number. But short term, yeah, I do think that it pops back up, and I wouldn't be looking for that move to the downside until you officially break below on a 4-hour closure. Let's call it 11 cents even. 11 cents even, that's kind of the pain point. Until then, short term is upside angled, and probably looking for one more run somewhere around 13 or so. But the problem is that as long as you're below 14, it's just, it's just another lower high. So I do think that you're consolidating at best with short term momentum to the upside. And I'd be quite bullish on this thing back above 14 cents or so. Problem is that I think that this one could go for a much more long consolidation. I'm going to go check out the 2-day right here. Let's see where we're at. Yeah, still looking a little bit more like it probably does consolidate for a longer time. 5-day, long-term good. I mean, long-term quite good. Can very easily eat up another test down to 9 cents. I'm very much split on this one in the higher term time frames. I mean, there's also not too much price action history there, to be fair, but I'll just go with the range resolutions in this case, and hopefully that was helpful. Crypto Slave says good morning to you. Hey, good morning to you as well, man. No need to use all of the capitals locks. It makes me feel like I'm getting yelled at. STMX, I understand that you're probably just excited, man. That's all. STMX Storm X. Okay. All right. STMX. Looking like it's put in a bit of a daily base. Definitely a laggard in this market. Didn't really move much in the last 6 or so months. However, this one does look like it probably gets to fall a little bit with the rest of the market. Looking at somewhere right around about 3.8 cents is where I get excited about this one. Looking for moves back up towards 4.5 to 5 cents overall. And I remain pretty much, I guess looking for that upside resolution as long as you're riding your higher lows, which is 3 cents right there. Below 3 cents, send it back down to 2.3. It's not going to be too great, but I would be biased towards the upside right here. Just want to see it actually confirm above there. And then all good, perhaps. Anyways, let's see. RM's back. He wants to look at WAV. Oh, okay. You're looking at time. Got it. So this is this thingy, and you're looking at this thing. It might be. Hold on. I want to make sure that I'm actually looking at exactly the one that you want to be looking at. Yeah, actually, it's right there. Beautiful. On Pangolin Exchange. Sounds like a penguin. Weird looking chart right here. It's okay. Hold on. This is AVAX. Okay, so let's actually do time versus AVAX. So it's going to look like this. This is the actual chart of time versus AVAX rather than AVAX versus time. Anyways, if you're looking at it daily, I'm looking for bounces off this region right here. So that means that I would be looking for a downside on the chart that you specifically requested. I'm just assuming that you probably wanted the other one, but you are at a major level here as well. Here's the thing: any sort of a break above 1.66 cent, this thing is very likely going to run quite a fair bit. So that means that AVAX would be strengthening against time in that case, which maybe you don't want. I don't know, but I'd be looking at moves up towards 0.0223 overall. It probably takes some time, obviously, but bad pun right there. I didn't even realize, but this would just be a continuation off of a reversal. I mean, that would be a pretty major move. Until then, short term, probably looking at a little bit of a pullback, and I would get bearish on this one. I'd invalidate long-term bullishness below about 14 cents. Make that 1380 in this case. And it's not cents, it's 0.0135. Jesus Christ. My words are going to be absolutely wrecked today, man. Anyways, King Cosmic says, hello, sir. I hope today is peaceful for you. Thanks, man. It has not been. But it's all good, man. It's Friday anyways. So it's no issue. We can go look at SPY. I know exactly what you want to look at, sir. Okay, so we got the bounce that we were speaking about yesterday. The question is now, this is actually quite a good bounce. Actually, this is quite good. Similar to Bitcoin, though. It's very similar to Bitcoin in this case. Look, I am looking for continuation from here. I do think that this one will at minimum test somewhere around 46.20. But the problem is that you got lower highs as long as you're especially below 46.70. So short term, I am looking for continuation of this bounce. If you're on an hourly, I remain short-term bullish as long as you're above 45.50 in this case. Below 45.50, I do look at one more run towards your 4,500 to 45.20 base, and probably another try for a bounce there. And you do have a bit of a falling channel here as well. And these typically are resolved to the upside, but resolution to the upside wouldn't necessarily be had as long as you're below about 4,600. Personally speaking, though, I do think that this one will trade up from here. The question is, where do we put in a lower high? And by lower high, or where would I be looking towards? Basically right here, 46.40 to 46.60 is kind of the scary zone right there. Until then, short term, I would be looking for more upside, and that probably bodes well for Bitcoin, but a very similar chart as Bitcoin here too, in the sense that if that does put in a lower high, well, market's probably over for a while. However, the last time we did something like this, it was just a straight march to the upside again. So who knows? Maybe today the economic I think there's like non-farm payrolls or unemployment numbers. I think it's unemployment numbers coming out today. It's going to be a tricky situation because you know what? What's funny? It's maybe not funny, but basically, if you want markets to go up right now, you actually want unemployment numbers to probably be bad, because then the Fed will keep their more loose financial policy and probably not speed up tapering. But if those numbers are good, it's going to give them another green light to just speed up the tapering. I really feel strongly about this. The faster that comes, the faster that the all bull markets start to crumble a little bit. Anyways, hopefully that was helpful, sir. And there you go. Not Penny's Boat says full on gay for TA. My fucking man in Boston. Nice. INJ, 4 hour and daily, if you would be so kind. Sure. So this is injective. Yeah, injective protocol. All right. Interesting chart here. Actually, very similar to maybe it was what one was it? Stormex maybe? Maybe it was Stormex. Same thing here. You know, you got your rising bottoms, which is good. I guess I've already charted this one out as well. I just want to see a closure bit. I mean, basically, I just want to see this not go below about 1130. I am biased towards the upside on this one. Again, very, very low volatility on the daily. Does say that we're looking for resolution. Maybe not today, but probably in this coming week. So I would be a little bit skeptical over the weekend, to be fair. But in that case, you know, I'm looking for first moves up towards about $15.5. Closures above there is where the macro party gets started. And I would be looking for moves back around your May breakdown levels, which is in the low 20s after that. And very likely a pullback after that, of course. And then we come back to it later. That would probably be a good thing. But for right now, well, you know, trudging along sideways here within the higher low fashion is a good thing. Just I think it takes a little bit more time, to be fair. 5-day had a pretty damn good closure not last night, but the night prior to that. I'd be biased towards the upside resolution here. Again, if Bitcoin dumps out, does this thing dump out with it? Fuck yeah, it does. Or fuck yeah, it very likely does. But for right now, you know, you see the same sort of formation going on pretty much across the markets. This one's definitely a laggard within that formation, but pretty much everything in this market that has had it has resolved to the upside and reclaimed around its May highs, for what it's worth. Just be aware of that. And of course, I should offer up an invalidation on this one. I think I did earlier, but it would basically just be your last higher low, which is just below $11 in this case. Until then, quite good. Let's see. Dahlia, the golden doodle, wants to look at loop ring. Okay, loop ring on the 4 and daily. Sure. Okay, LRC, USD. Let's maybe record one on this. Same shit as before, basically. Still going sideways, but this one is starting to lose a little bit of its good setup right here. So when I drew in this trend line, this would be the hopium, I suppose. It's not necessarily hopium. I mean, this is good as long as you're right in the higher lows, but that would imply that you need to put in a higher low right here, and you're already testing it right now, which, you know, trend lines were made to be tested, obviously. But that also implies you do not want to see a closure below about 240. Sorry, did I say 240? I mean 245. Below 245, I look for this one to retest its 215 lows. Very likely try for another bounce, but this would very likely fail that bounce and find its way down just below $2 afterwards. Until then, I guess I keep the hopium alive for now, because if it does reverse from here, meaning that you do see a daily closure specifically, maybe not necessarily today, but tomorrow within this next 48-hour period of about 280, that would look good for this being a higher low. You would have hidden bullish evidence over here, and I'll be looking for another run towards the top of your structure at about 3 3/3, which would look really, really good actually for the long term. Until then, I mean, technically speaking, it is still bullish here, but it's like right on the precipice of where you'd be looking for in order for that one to confirm a bit of a reversal on the medium term. So hopefully that was helpful. Actually, these are kind of the charts that I do like to trade, to be fair, but fair enough. All right, cool. Let's see. Jason Farrow says, hey, man, no problem, man. It's all good. Any thoughts on Illuvium short to medium term? Okay, this is symbol ILV, I believe. And just for the feature, it's massively more helpful to just include the symbol, the ticker itself, and also some timeframes that maybe you might be interested in. But as far as Illuvium goes, short and medium term, I don't necessarily know what that means to you. I am looking at this one as a significant top right here. I mean, we got multiple drives, 1, 2, 3 drives of bearish divergence. We got extremes twice on daily BBWP. You know, this thing's going to bounce around, obviously, and it's not just going to be a straight down shot nor a straight up shot. In short term, it very likely puts in a bounce here. I mean, this thing could bounce very easily back up to 1800, but I do look at this as a major high in progress. As long as you're closing 4-hour dildos below 1850, it's consolidating at best. But here would be the bullish hopium for right now. That you're doing something like this, and this is legitimate. I mean, you do also have you will have hidden bullish evidence confirming a local low right here, which will be had by closing back above 1650. So that would look good for the short term. But excuse me for my skepticism on something like this. After hitting extremes like that, you know, while is likely to bounce on the short-term timeframes, I do look at this one as likely a major top as long as you're below, again, about 1850 on a 4-hour closure. And I'd be looking for probably moves back down to your prior daily lows at 1430 or so after a bit of a bounce. So hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for ILV. Yeah, let's just see. Yeah, not much history here, and it's been good for its history. It's just, you know, it can play out a downside move and still be in a long-term uptrend. I mean, long-term uptrend is available to you as long as you're above 1200. So do be aware of that, of course. Anyways, moving on, we got Crypto Slave again. Need Unibright. Man, those cap locks are real aggressive, sir. UBT. Got it. Okay, UBT. All right, UBT USD. I guess we go to Bittrex or something like this, and you're looking at a day, week, and month. No problem, man. All right, so we got a daily right here. This one is resolving its short-term, its short-term daily range. I would be looking for, or hold on, no, it's not. Let's go to a weekly. Weekly is quite good though. Oh, I actually quite like this one. Look at this. Okay, I need to write some of these down. Okay, UBT. I think we had where were some of these good ones, man? Where were some of these good ones? Hold on, I just want to write this down really quick, just in case if I need them later. Might use them on an LEO video. Who knows where they might end up? And maybe we even go over sand as well. But I'm gonna leave those for right now. All right, cool. Okay, so here's what I like about this one on UBT. You're still in a weekly uptrend. You just hit the 55 right here. To me, that's a long-term signal for typically speaking. We do have hidden bullish evidence present as well. Multiple drives off that low here too, and we are seeing this on low volatility respectively speaking. So I just want to see this weekly closure above about 240, and I would be looking for this one to trade sideways and up over the next month or so, back up to its range highs, 330 to 350 or so. Do I think it's ready to trend exactly from here? Maybe. I don't really have a strong opinion on that. But if my strong opinion is on this, if and when you do see, oh dear Lord, this one's a convoluted chart right here. I guess I've charted it out before. If you do see a daily closure above about 3.25, I would be looking for next move up somewhere around about $4, a little bit of a pullback right there. And then long term, we can talk about targets, maybe like a month or so following down that road into the $5 range. It's very, very far away right now, obviously. And again, be aware of the validation conditions for that. And I can also say exactly where I get bearish on this one below 175. Very, very bad. But for right now, one of the more interesting charts, actually, to be fair. One of the better setups for what it's worth. Let's see, what else do we have? Mr. Bob Samarsdick, he's looking at Matic. Yep, we got that one earlier. I don't know. Should we do it again? I've done it so many times this week. All right. Mr. Ophir said, "Hey man, all good, brother, all good. The dopest hair in the game." Well, I've never heard that one before, but thank you. But yeah, man, that's fucking awesome. I know. I recognize actually all the OGs here. We started this channel about 4 years ago, almost now, and I can say full heartedly that I actually do remember pretty much all the names of people who were active in the chats and always kind of interacting with me. So it's really, really cool to see the OGs here, man. That's fucking awesome. Anyways, you're looking at RNDR. Okay, RNDR. So this is render derp. I'm sure that we have more history than on a chart than this. Maybe nope, KuCoin perhaps is going to be the one. Yeah, that's where we go to for the new shitcoin charts. Okay, interesting one right here. You did hit extremes on daily BBWP. You are cooling off rather aggressively here. Short term, you do have a nice local low in, so I probably am looking for this one to give one more short term try to the upside. In this case, that would be somewhere right around here for the short term, 714. I do not consider this range resolved as long as you're below, however, or sorry, the daily time frame resolved as long as you're below about 8.25 and above. In this case, on a 4 hour, above about $5. Below $5, obviously bad. Looking for big moves down towards 385 to 380. Or sorry, maybe even more like 3.5 actually, and above 8.25, I'm looking for, well, new all-time highs in this case. But for right now, I do think that it's kind of trading sideways at best. And if I did have called this one, I actually do think that this one does trade down after another try to the upside, maybe into next week. But we can obviously come back to it after that. And I'm getting way ahead of myself here anyways. Short term, what are we looking at? Well, we actually will have some hidden bearish divergence here if it does put in a little bit of a local high. So maybe one more run at $5 first, then a bit of a bounce, then we come back to it. But overall, again, I just don't think there's anything decided here, especially as long as you're below 714, and no talks of any major range resolution as long as you're below 8.25, most importantly as well. Hopefully that was helpful. Rapture says, "Hey Krown, hey man, hope you're having a blessed day as well, sir. EGLD 4 hour and daily." Okay, EGL. This is Elrond, very popular earlier this year. Let's see how she's doing now. And short term, trading back down. And I believe we said this was likely yesterday. I would be looking for a bounce off of about 330 or so, and we're almost there. Almost got there, about 339 it looks like on that wick to the downside, but I would be looking for bounces around this region right here. I would not confuse a bounce with a reversal in this case. However, again, I stick with what I said yesterday. I do think that this one is putting in a major high right here. Again, long term, you will have an uptrend even if you come all the way down to 180, which is like nearly a 50% dump ola. I mean, that's significant. But again, you have 1, 2, 3 drives of 4 drives of bearish evidence on weekly RSI. Daily BBWP has hit extremes, multiple times already. So there's going to be bounce along the way. In fact, again, I do think that you're going to bounce relatively soon here, but do not confuse bounce with reversal. This one, there is no reversal to be had as long as you're below, especially about 469. Just a great number. So yeah, it's kind of, I think it's kind of seen its rally for a while here. Can I be wrong? Let's look at a monthly. Maybe it could be looking at a monthly. Maybe I could be wrong. Maybe it just goes for the backfill down to $300 and then tries to move to the upside. Definitely possible, but I do think that's a little more hopium. And what's more important is we do have some bearish divergence forming on a monthly. If you do put in a local high here, and that would be below about 260. Wouldn't be good, man. Wouldn't be good. So hopefully that was helpful. I would be a little more cautious on this one, to be fair, after a short-term bounce. Again, easier to watch Bitcoin just because, if Bitcoin continues up, everything else probably gets a free ride as well. But again, I have major skepticism about the $63,000 to $64,000 region. Vince says SHIB USD. What?
Do you want to suspend down now?
We can leave them open for the time being. I think it's okay for... Okay, well, we can shut them down for now, and you can just, you can post a message and, well, hope for the best. All right, so we're gonna shut down the what's it called, the super chats for now. So everyone who's put in a super chat before this moment, yours will be read. I can assure you of that, assuming that we actually saw it. However, the ones after this moment, we will not be able to do, just because I fear that this stream will be too long, and this is not the day where I can really abuse my voice, I don't think, man. Anyways, and there it is. God damn it. But that's okay. We can get that last one too. Anyways, SHIB. Okay, so SHIB, let's see. I think I already have this one charted. I do have this one charted already. Sweet. All right, let's see. Elsa, did you post it yet? Can you? I don't see it. Did you just post it right now? No, I don't see it just yet. Okay, now I see it. I see it now. Okay, good. Yeah, it takes like a few seconds for that one to pop up, catch up. Okay, cool. I think it's Jacob's, the last one right there. All right, SHIB token right here. Again, at best going sideways within this range between about 3650 and 5200 or so. We did hit our short-term target on this one from a few days ago. That's fine. However, well, I wouldn't necessarily call it a breakdown from here. I do think that you're going to, once again, test somewhere around about 38 to 3900 or so. As long as you're above about 3650, I'm not calling a breakdown just yet. At some point, very likely does, but I expect that you get at least one more bounce, probably even a couple more bounce off this region right here. Short-term range resolution is going to be above about 5150 in this case. Looking for moves back up somewhere around about 61 to 6200 after that happens. And that would actually look quite good for the macro if that happened. Again, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but if that did happen, that would look good. 5-day is showing that this one probably does backfill down just below 4,000, but also gives a bounce as well. I'm not calling a macro high here just yet, but it's getting real fucking close. Below 30, what is it? 3650. I certainly will. Looking for big moves down to the downside after that, somewhere around about 2,600 to 2,500. Until then, sideways, probably another test of the downside and a bounce there if that's what I'm looking at. Dear Lord, man. Dear Lord. All right, cool. Let's see. Wait. No, man. What's up, Venom? All right, Venom says Tia on Rose 4-hour and daily forecast. The forecast like a weatherman. All right. We can try. Actually, hey, weather boy. Fuck off, weather boy. It's actually not bad right here, to be fair. So here we have Rose versus the dollar. I think this is what is the, I don't know what the name of this one is, but it has a different name, I guess. Oasis Network. That's it. Oasis Network. Symbol ROSE versus the dollar. Anyways, this one put in a bit of a daily higher low right there, so quite good on the short term. I imagine we will have hidden bullish evidence on confirmation of this as a higher low, which I do think is pretty much already there. Technically speaking, you want to see a closure above 35.5 cents today, and then yes, I would be looking for a return back around your 41-cent highs for the daily. Short-term timeframes, 4-hour, we do see a bit of a short-term timeframe range resolution, it looks like. However, I would invalidate short-term bullishness below 30 cents. And I don't look for long-term continuation as long as you're below about 41 cents. So while I do think that you probably test somewhere around there as you do play out this bullish divergence maybe over the next few days, I would be hesitant to call long-term continuation as long as that condition is not met. I'm just seeing what else the other higher term time frame saying. probably does have one more move actually. So let's see if it does break the top side. Where are the next areas of interest? In this case, that would be somewhere around half a buck first. Very likely a short-term pullback there. And then I'd be looking for highs, you know, in the following weeks, somewhere around about 60, upper 60 cent region is where I'd be looking towards. Again, it has a lot of work to do first before validation for that. But for right now, you know, having a good response, volume starting to pour on this one once again, not bad. Okay, sweet. Gohan's mom has joined the cave. Hey, nice. All right, sweet. There she is. Alex Switch says, hey, what's up, Alex Switch? Krown, what's your thought on the jewel on SPY? Okay, let's see. I haven't checked it there in a while. Let's see what we got. And you're looking at weekly. Okay, weekly. Has it played out or not? Okay, so we did have... Has this one played out? Well, it hasn't even really. Okay, so the way that I use the jewel now is actually I just wait for the color changes alongside DMI confluence. Now, of course, the prior setup before is obviously going to add, you know, more firepower to that, if you will. And you do kind of have that setup right here. So has it already played out? If I'm giving my personal opinion, no, it has. I don't think it has. I think you got your first move on that one, and next move is a bounce, yes. You know, but any, you know, a next move will be very, very telling, Alex, because any sort of a lower high right here, that's going to be, in my opinion, like the nail in the coffin for a long time. You know, and I'd be looking for this one to work its way down towards, you know, 42.50 to 42.50 to 42.70ish region over time after that. But for right now, you know, you have to give it a chance first. You have to always go with the prior trend until proven otherwise, and we have not been proven otherwise just yet. Proven otherwise will be on a lower high below, again, about 46.65, and then I'd be looking for this weekly jewel signal to officially get the downside signal, which will happen when that turns dark blue, and it will also have DMI support as well, which will be, well, not good for the boo laws. I mean, last time that we saw this was our last correction right here, coming off of August for about a 6% move to the downside. Kind of already seen something similar to that, to be fair. So that would be essentially the bullish look on it. So you need to see a recovery essentially from here, is what that does suggest. Otherwise, problems, sir. Blue Dog says, hello, sir. Tuning, hey, man, some fine, smooth jazz. All right, I like it, man. CHSB for me on the daily and for, okay. This is, what is this? I don't know what this is, but we're just gonna roll with it anyways. Okay, we got a little bit of chart there, I guess. Daily and fora, maybe even enough for a daily. Looks like it's put in a low, and I do think that it is putting low. Hidden bullish divergence right here. I'm actually gonna write this one down as well. CHSB. Okay, cool. And you have a higher low right here. Hidden bullish divergence alongside that. Just want to see volatility start to take up again, and I'd be looking for this one to retest your last rally's high at about 80 cents or so. That's obviously going to be your big bad breakout area. Personally speaking, I do think that's a bit more of a formality in this case. I'd really only invalidate bullishness on this below about 67, 69 cents or so on a daily closure. Daily closure below 69 cents would do it for me. Until then, short term, I'm looking for another test around here. If you do actually close above there, I'd extend targets all the way up to, you know, probably 90 cents, maybe even $1 over time. That'll look quite good, but it does look like it's putting a big base right there, which is good. And thanks, man. I really appreciate that. That's some really nice sentiments, man. I'm blushing, man. That's very generous. That's nice. New 510 says, Krown bro, I'm such a lazy trader. Can you scold me, please? Okay, so you want a little bit of scolding. Oh, fuck, I've been recording this whole goddamn time. Fuck. I just done goofed that whole one. How many videos do I have anyways? 2. All right, well, worse things have happened in life, I guess. All right. Okay, so all right, you know what? I'm actually gonna record this, and I'm not recording it because I want to shit on you, but perhaps this can be useful for other people because it's something that I've spent a lot of time thinking about myself. Need a sip of water before this one, though. Okay, here we have a great question by Mr. New 510 this is, and he says, Krown, I'm such a lazy trader. Can you scold me, please? Okay, so first things first. I can come at this from many different ways. All right, first things first, you yourself have defined yourself as a lazy trader, and we all kind of know when we are slacking off and not fulfilling our own, you know, our own potential. We all know that intrinsically, I do think, unless if you're like just completely disconnected with reality, which that can be some people for sure, but it sounds like you're obviously aware and conscious of this fact. So I can say this next segment then. Okay, you yourself know this. What does that mean? That means that you know that you are being lazy. And if you are being lazy, what should you be doing? Not being fucking lazy. Look, how do you explain to someone that is holding a pen to drop the pen? You can say, all right, so first you relax, okay? You start thinking about the pen, that you want to release it from your fingertips, and then you can start to move into the motion, and you just have to calm your mind, think about the present moment. Okay, that's great, but at some point, there is a disconnect between the thoughts and you have to move into action. And right now it seems very obvious that you know what you should be doing, which is probably some variation of, you know, defining your strategy, back testing your strategy, and then actually fucking playing out your strategy, because all those three things are like, look, if you can do that, you're going to be successful in trading, more or less. I mean, that is the magic pill. If you want one, it's still going to take you a shit ton of time, most likely, because back testing is, you know, is time consuming, obviously, but if you can just do that, you can be successful. But the problem is that we fall into this like gambling habit, typically speaking. We get excited, we see something, and we're like, oh my God, I can make so much right there. And then, you know, it blows up in your face because you probably didn't have a plan with it. So here's the thing. You need to remind yourself, and I remind myself of this all the time. Look, you can build a skill that can give you a living for the rest of your life if you desire. I mean, there's no reason why not, if you simply just follow the process. The process being, and I'm assuming here that this is what you're referencing, the process being, first, define a strategy, then backtest a strategy. When I say backtest, not a few times, I mean 100 fucking times minimum. The more, the better. And once you have that, then start off slowly putting that strategy to work with a demo account. Haha, yeah, got you there, bitch. And then as you get more and more successful with it, and you actually get the results that you want, that you yourself have defined that you want, then you can start to put in money towards that strategy slowly but surely over time. It's a slow process, but if you follow that with the overall intention and goal that you are going to be building up a skill for life, typically speaking, then the motivation is irrelevant. It is discipline that you want. Motivation is something that is fleeting and floating, and you cannot be reliant on it because it comes and goes. Some days you're just not going to get enough sleep, so you're just naturally not going to feel motivated. But you cannot let that get in the way of your discipline for following that whole roadmap, basically, for, well, hopefully doing something that you actually want to do in your life. You know, I understand that this is, you know, I do understand that that is a bit aggressive, but I do happen to know you, you know, somewhat well, as you have been here for about a year now, I think. So I hope that I can say this with love, because at you know, this used to be me. I mean, this is me. I mean, I have to remind myself of this all the time, because we're always just one step away from the, you know, the death spiral. It can always happen. And if you don't think that it can happen, then it'll definitely happen. But you know, we all know these very, very nasty stories, and sometimes reminding yourself of those nasty stories, whether it be your own or someone else's, can be quite useful. And I can assure you from my own experience, going completely fucking broke is not in any way, shape, or form noble at all. Yes, if you are broke, it doesn't make you a bad person, obviously. But look, if you having money issues is just really, really terrible on your psyche, and I can totally relate to anyone who's going through that. But look, if you can just follow the process, you don't have to. You want to be aware of that, but not necessarily worry about that, and that should hopefully give you enough discipline to follow that and not be, in your words, hopefully lazy. So again, I do hope that that is said with respect. You know, I wish the best for you, but I do need to use rather direct language there, because, well, I feel like I could have used that in my early career as well. Hopefully that was helpful. And there you go, sir. George Michael P says, my man, and fellow psychonaut. Yes, that's me. Bat on the 1 and 4 hour. Do you think it's hit a local bottom and ready to break out soon? Well, if you're on very low term timeframes like that, then it's only going to be relevant to those timeframes, to be fair. So we can go over here. And do I think it's hit a local bottom? No, not on a 4 hour, at least. On an hourly, yes, you do have a local bottom right here, but you are downtrending, and this might just be your next local high. I don't think that that's actually what's going on right here, because you'd expect hidden bearish divergence if that were the case, and you do not have that. So in this case, I think, you know, if you're talking about local lows and local highs, you're probably more or less on a daily. And in this case, long term, I like this chart. This is actually quite a good long-term chart. Problem is, you can easily come down to like 120 and still be long-term bullish. And you do not have the 5-day breakout just yet. Do you have it on a daily? Well, let's actually chart this. Yeah, you would have it on a daily, so fair enough. It's probably more of a formality in this case. Look, I do think that this one will trade sideways and up from here, to be fair. The question is, do we put in a local low at about 130 or 131 in this case, or do you come all the way down to about 115, 120-ish region? I don't have a strong opinion on that. that. If I'm looking at the lower term time frames, like a 4 hour, I would not call this a local low at all, as long as you're below this level right here on a 4 hour closing basis, that being 145. On an hourly, I don't think that's relevant. I mean, you already have a local low there, but you're still downtrending. So I don't think that's what you're actually looking for. If you're on a 4 hour, need to close back above about 145. And then yes, I would call this a local low, and you probably trade back up towards 157. But I think the real question is when moon, sir. And I do think that this one's going to be spending some time consolidating at best. The reason why I say that is because, again, you're coming off extremes right here on daily BBWP. And that's likely to lead towards a contraction phase. In this case, contraction into consolidation is, just continuation of uptrend. But again, that can come with a big move down to 115 respectively. So hopefully that was helpful, sir. This one's not looking for continuation of trend as long as you're below about $1.69. Let's see. Elliot Diggs says, G morning, brah. G morning to you as well, sir. Can you peep Link or XTZ? Link probably, Link, I have it on my list here, so that makes it easier. We can go check it out. We got Link right here, $25, and doing what we spoke about the other day, which is a good sign, obviously, it's obviously a lot better sign than just fucking breaking down. But, could this thing pull what a Matic did and put in a nice higher low right here on the daily as it kind of trudges along? Yeah, I do think so. Something like this, kind of what you're looking at for the bullish hopium right here, and you are constructing your next daily higher low. Now, this is actually of great significance right here because you do have massively lower lows on RSI alongside potentially higher lows on price action, which would imply hidden bullish divergence. But that's not confirmed just yet until you actually trade back above, or especially close above about $27 in this case. Above $27 on a daily closure, absolutely great. I'd be looking for moves back up towards north of $30, and long term, this would still look quite good. However, the problems on this one arise below about 22.80 or so on a daily. If that does happen, this one very likely comes much further down. And when I say much further down, probably somewhere around $20 even, maybe a little bit lower than that. I am inclined to say that this probably is going to put in a higher low here. But again, whatever Bitcoin does, this one will very likely mirror. And if Bitcoin does dump out, then, expect this one to dump out alongside with it most likely. Let's see. Regret Everything says, Knowles went green dildo today. Oh my God, Knowles? Oh, no fucking way. I do remember this one from 2017. Oh, this is going to be good. Where the hell is this thing? I still have it even charted from 2017. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, that is amazing. That is amazing. Magical chart still working right there. Total piece of shit. Total piece of shit here. No doubt about that. Very much relatively weak as it is significantly below its 2018 highs. And look, here's the real chart. This is the real chart. That was an $8.50 high, trading at 114 right now. With all of that said, it's a laggard, and the junk typically rally last. And I think that that's what we're seeing right now. You very likely are going to see another move to the upside from here. It actually is okay. Finally out with 8 months holding for a 3x profit. Damn, man, you are stubborn, sir. Still holding on to too many 2017 shitcoins. My stubbornness ruined me big time. And I'm not trying to rain on your parade or anything like that. I would want anyone who's listening to just be aware of how these things can happen. Again, this thing's just been nasty. Anyways, I would actually like to see this one actually close above 150, and this one very likely will go for another ride after that, maybe back up to $2.50. But it sounds like you're out, so I don't really know what you're commenting then for. Actually, in fact, fair enough though. I'm glad that you got out. It seems like with a little bit of profit, that's great. Short term, this one probably does pull back a little bit after the retest of its September highs. Sorry, not even September highs, May highs right there. Jesus. Yeah, very much a laggard. Wow. But fair enough. It all worked out. Just a little bit of diamond hands, I guess. Justin Young, member for 5 months. Much fucking love, sir. Much fucking love, and massive profits to you as well, and everyone else here. J3F says, good morning, Sol USD on the 4 and daily. No, we have not done that one, so let's bring it up. I remember last we looked at it, it was holding range, and we were looking for a filling out of the range to the upside, and I believe that's what we're getting. Hey, not bad. Not bad on that good old Solana right there. All right, Solana, what are you doing? Let's go over here to the 4 hour. Oh, actually 4 hours kind of trending right now too. Not bad. Interesting here on the 4 hour, because I'm actually very inclined to say that it does pull back from here, and that's probably what I said yesterday. And I'm just wrong on that one. Does it continue from here? I mean, we would have some bearish divergence forming on the 4 hour RSI. I guess it needs to continue like literally from here. Otherwise that will play out. Hourly says continuation, hidden bullish divergence. By hourly says continuation as well, hidden bullish divergence. I guess I am looking for this one to trade back up to the prior range highs. I guess 250 or so. I still like this one long term, obviously. The question is when close above 250 on a daily, closing above 250 on a daily, and I'm looking for moves towards 280 and probably 300 plus after that. Probably take some time after that, of course, as well. But for right now, I would invalidate short-term bullishness, which I am a little bit I'm a little bit skeptical of right here, below 220 on a 4-hour closure, and I would look for this one to come back down to about 210 to 205 region. Again, would still be good long term. This one does not lose its long-term bullishness, especially as long as you're about $1.90 on a daily. Until then, sideways good for the Bulas, and this one salvaging itself again at the right time. This is good. 5-day actually looks quite good to me as well. It should even have hidden bullish divergence right here. So this is actually looking pretty damn good long term still. Any sort of bullishness in Bitcoin, this one very likely catches a bid and actually looks quite good. Hopefully that's helpful, sir. Mark Wilson says IMX Huobi. Okay, is the weekly worth anything? I'm gonna guess that this thing hasn't been around for that long, but I could be wrong. I've definitely judged a lot of these altcoins poorly in the past, in the sense that I just immediately think that they don't have much history, and they do. Okay, that's got about 5 days of history. That's not useful. Maybe OKX. Okay, that's also completely irrelevant. Let's see. Maybe we get lucky over here. FTX maybe. Okay, there is no weekly on this one, sir, man. Again, if it's been around for a month, it's just going to be unuseful. I have no opinion on a chart like this, barely even on a daily as well, to be honest with you. If I'm looking at a daily, I think it's put in a major high right here, but I don't trust that, so I would not stand by that analysis. Hourly and 4 hours probably where you're looking for on this one, and 4 hour does look like we have a little bit of a local low right here. Probably does try and move up towards 735 or so. Hourly, same shit. I'd really only invalidate that below about 650, which is not very helpful. Below 650, I do look for big moves down towards about 6.25 to 620 base. Try for a bounce there, and this would look like I guess the major high that I spoke about earlier. But again, way too new of a chart to really give it too much of a judgment on the higher term time frames, especially. And if I'm looking at even the 6 hour and 12 hour, like it ain't. I mean, the 12 hour does not look good, man. I do think that you have a little bit of short-term bounciness here, but would not be surprised if Bitcoin plays out a downside move. This thing's coming back down below, down to $6, maybe lower. Let's see. Metagains Crypto, nice name, man. Hero, sir, could you please look at VRA on short and medium term time frames? Sure. VRA USD over here. All right, cool. On Bittrex, and we have a we have like a slide. That's what we have going on. What time frames are we looking at? Short and medium term time frames. All right, well, in that case, let's just go to a 4 hour, as I'm assuming that's what you mean. Okay, so technically speaking, yeah, you do have a slew of lower highs here, which usually not going to be a great thing. Short term, do you give another bounce back up towards 585 or so? Perhaps yes. I wouldn't invalidate this as a setup here, to be fair, as long as you're below about 6.25. So short term, popping back up to that region wouldn't really do too much. Even though I would be looking for a short term bounce here. Again, you should have some. Yeah, you should have some. Well, I mean, these RSI reads are just about the same low anyways, so I guess can't really make too much of that. I can tell you exactly where I get bearish on this one. That would be below 5 cent. I'd be looking for a nice move down to about, what is this, 4.7? 4.7 to 4.8, and try for a bounce there. Maybe an hourly is what you want to look at as well. Let's see what we got right here. Yeah, short term, probably more likely to bounce here first than anything else. And hey, if the bounce brings you back above about 6.2, then I would be looking for this one to actually salvage the range. Until then, I do think it's a little more under pressure, to be fair. So above 6.2, I'm looking for another run towards 7 cent or so. Hopefully that was helpful though. MDIS says XED. Okay, XED. Not familiar with this one. XED me. Okay. Not bad, actually. Well, it's not really much of a chart here, but that's okay. It is relatively new. But I do see a bit of a range resolution actually already going on as you do close above your 67.5 cent region. So that is good. I would invalidate short-term bullishness below about 61.5 cent. Until then, short-term pullbacks are fine. And I'm looking for this one to trade back up after a bit of a pullback somewhere around 81, maybe even 85 cents overall in the following days. What does the daily look like? Yeah, daily looks like it's putting a nice little local low right here. So not bad. Hourly short-term pullback, again, can pull back all the way down to like 62 to 63, and that's fine. I don't really have a major issue on that. Again, bullishness is subsided below about 61.5 cent on a 4 hour. Actually, kind of an interesting chart to look at right there. Thank you for pulling that one up, sir. XCD, I'll put that one right there. Christopher Kouari wants to look at Matic. We already looked at that one a few days earlier. Still liking it long term. Is it going to have short term continuation is the question. It actually does have a pretty good setup right there, but I went through in a more detailed analysis. Actually, I think it was like one of the first coins called out there. Pascal Jean says, for the red dildos, I salute you, sir. I salute you. Zico says, hey, man, a quick update on NACA USD on the 4 hour. All right. Let's see. Remember, you've been asking about this one consistently the last few days. See where we're at right now. Yeah, it's starting to lose its I forget, what did we say on this one yesterday? Yeah, it was very, very close to an upside resolution. Did not get it. This one's very likely going to play back down at minimum to about 447. Again, as long as it does hold this general range here, long term it will be bullish. Problem is that can come alongside a downside move towards 3.25 to 330. And short term, this one is very likely to trade down from here. I wouldn't call like the next major downside move as long as you're above 410, but below 410 on a 4 hour, I would be looking for that move down to 330 to 336 ish region. Until then, I guess the hope is that you get a good bounce off of like 440 or 445. This just looks like a breakdown right there. This one would look a lot better short term if you did trade back above about 5.25. Still though, same thing as yesterday for the overall resolution of this range. I'm a lot more inclined to say that this one does consolidate a little bit more first before anything else. It could very well look something like this if it's going to be long-term bullish where you get a move like that, which would still just be another higher low on the daily. But obviously if you're on a 4 hour, that's going to be a pretty major move. And yeah, 4 hour time frame is downside goal there, no doubt about that. I shouldn't say no doubt about that, but I would invalidate that with a move back above about, what was it, 5.25, 520 would be okay. Again, watch what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin plays out a downside move, this thing will very likely play out a significant downside move. Bitcoin plays out to the upside, you probably see it dance around this top side 550-ish level a few more times, but still need to see it daily above there. That is the only way that I would call a range resolution there, because it is, it's a little bit of liquid, and it's always difficult to be aggressive on things like this. Anyways, Mohammed says, good morning, sir. As usual, new coin. All right, fair enough, man. ANT. Okay, got it. Altcoin. This is like Ant. I remember Ant shares. Is this a 2017 one? Aragon, I think it was. Let's see. Yeah, it was. And hey, it's above its 2017, 2018 highs. Not bad. And this is actually quite interesting. Hey, thanks for calling this one out, man. That's cool. All right, so here's your macro range, obviously, highs. Here is your rising bottoms coming in right here. I do like that, so that does imply reaccumulation. You're above all major moving averages. Yeah, it's sloppy as fuck, but you do have a weekly Joule signal, which is good. And volatility is on the lows, so I am looking for volatility expansion alongside upside tries. Is it a cup and handle? So this being your cup, this being your handle? Yeah, you could call it that. You could call it that if that is just the general question. Obviously, the resolution for that would be above this region right here, 1160, which you probably already know. That would look really, really good for the long term. Obviously, also invalidated below about 410, I think it is. 4.25 on a weekly. Until then, sideways and up is the name of the game. Probably going to take its time, obviously, but the setup is there. This is actually very, very interesting, man. Thank you for calling this one out. And yeah, it is the 2017 one, so interesting. 2017 one, more importantly, that has taken out its 2017 highs, which is good. Cool. Hey, thanks for that, Crypto Peril. I'm saying hi to you as well, man. I'm saying hi to you as well. Raja said it's KuCoin, Atom, US. Okay, gotcha. Cosmos, huh? See how this one's trudging along. I remember last time we looked at it, it's kind of doing the same thing as like maybe a Matic, where it was salvaging itself at exactly the right moment. And yeah, well, I wouldn't say at exactly the right moment just yet, but a lot better than not. Still want to see it above about 33 spot 34 for this one to look, quote unquote good and trade back up towards $40. But this is a good response right here. And I believe we did speak about this last time as likely putting a nice low right there, which it has done. The question is, do you take out the range highs just yet? And I think that you're going to test somewhere around there at minimum. Short-term time frames at least like 31.25. It's not too much more right there, but volume pouring in right there, volatility turning up, all momentum oscillators pointing northwards. I'm probably looking for a move somewhere around here. I don't have an opinion on whether it's going to break it on this drive, however, but above there at some point, if it does, I'll be looking for a return towards about $40, and that's where this thing starts to look really, really good for the long term. Until then, it's okay here. 5 days actually starting to salvage itself a lot as well. This is good. A lot better than just going down, obviously. But I do think that this one is putting a low here. It's just probably going to take another week or two. if I'm just giving my stupid opinion on it, but you will have hidden bullish divergence between this last low right here and this one right here. So that would look good on the 5-day and I imagine the 2-day. Yeah. So not bad right there. Cool. Yeah, not bad actually. Hey, thanks for that, Jeannie. Appreciate that. Nico Senpai says thoughts on LCID. Okay. $50 puts on. Oh, okay. So this is a stock. Yeah. Like, what kind of shitcoin has options trading on it? Okay, so you're buying $50 puts, expiring on the 10th. So that's next Friday. So you're buying next week's. Look, if you're gonna, I'll just give you a really quick thing here. So I actually used to be a market maker authorized trader for equity options. It's really a bad idea to buy options on Friday. The reason being is because you got 2 days of decay where you can't trade and price action might move. Now, obviously, if price action moves to the downside, it would be good for you in this case. But look, you're just gonna. I think if you really want that position and you're looking for Friday and you want to put it on today, you probably put it on today with spot or futures. This thing probably doesn't have futures, but you do it with spot today. It's going to be a better do. If you want to buy options, you probably want to buy it like, maybe like 2 weeks to a month out, somewhere around there, man. I don't like buying weekly options. It's just better to do it with stock, man. That's just premium. So I don't know what the premium is on this thing, but it wouldn't really make too much sense to me. I get what you're trying to do, but it'd just be easier and more profitable with spot if that's exactly what you want to do. And I agree with your trade. I mean, I do think that this one does pull back from here. Multiple drives of bearish divergence, hit extremes here on daily, so it probably does pull back somewhere around 41.5 or so. Does it happen exactly within your time frame? I don't know. But if you really want to do the options play, what I'd do if you're intent on buying next week puts is I'd sell like the week after that and do a spread or something. Just do like a time spread in that case. That would kind of make sense to me. So yeah, fair enough. And Min Tao Huang, hopefully I'm saying that properly, man. Welcome to the cave, sir. Bimmer says Sol USD on KuCoin. Okay. So yeah, we looked at this one earlier this week and it was interesting, I think. Phantasma has a cool name. And not a terrible chart. Obviously, it just goes up. Anyways, you're looking at daily, 4 hour, and hourly. Okay, hit extremes on daily BBWP, multiple drives of bearish divergence. Seeing this across the board a lot of times. Short term, does it give another try to the upside? I do think so. Yes, you do have multiple drives of hidden bullish divergence right here. Here's the thing though, there is a big pain point on this one, and that is below actually pretty much your current low side structure at $3. I would remain cautiously bullish as long as you're above there. Below there, I do look for this one to correct down at minimum to about 269, 266 to 269 region. Very likely a bounce there, and then we come back to it after that for potentially more continuation. Until then, I guess I am looking short-term sideways and up, but forgive me if, well, the short-term time frames are still showing that. So you know what, I should be respectful of that, and I'll just leave that right there. Let's see, how is Bitcoin doing? Again, if Bitcoin pulls through, they're going to very likely pull through as well. And that one probably puts another high. That's going to be the general crux of any analysis. Still learning. Appreciate that, man. But feel free to have a message as well, sir. Maybe just a miscommunication there. Jack said, "Hey, good morning to you, man. Matic versus Ethereum. All right, let's check this one out. Have you are you satisfied with Ethereum Bitcoin now?" Let's see. Very, very good here. Very, very good. But we have more history on this chart, I'm sure. Yeah, there we go. Still very, very good, however. It is approaching the range highs. Okay, you know what? I'm going to... Did I record one on this? You know what? Nah, I won't record one on this one. But yeah, this one's actually very, very interesting here, Jack. And good on you for bringing this up. So you are around your macro range highs, your accumulation range highs, which is like what, 57.50. Very likely to pull back here short term. That's fine. That's to be expected. Long term bullish and looking for a resolution above this, maybe even on this drive as well, as volatility is expanding here. And all momentum oscillators are green, man. Daily Jewel actually just got a pretty good signal right there. I'd still want to see a closure above that region. Then yeah, I'm looking big moves up towards 60,000 plus. Until then, I get some validation below about 42,800. But this Matic is looking good versus Ethereum, and I'm actually curious to see, just because you always remind me of this, but what does Ethereum Bitcoin look like? Looks good. So this is also another good sign for the general market. As long as this one stays bullish, it has been historically wise to be generally bullish on the greater cryptosphere. Let's see. DC Iris says, can you look at Dero USD? Okay, DERO USD. Let's see. Wow, that's sloppy as fuck. That's pretty sloppy. I don't know what time frames you're looking at, man, because you didn't specify. I do think that you're probably it's more relevant to bounce here, maybe even back up to $20. But I do have skepticism on this one long term. As long as you're below about 23.5, I think you're consolidating at best. Doing something like this, you don't necessarily have lower highs just yet, so I would be cognizant that, you know, after this bounce, if you see a lower high somewhere around 22 to 23, that's going to look very, very bearish. But until then, short-term bouncy. Yeah, short-term bouncy here. Got some drafted bullish evidence on the 4 hour. Probably looking for short-term continuation, like at least 1940. But again, I don't know what time frames we're looking at, so I don't really know where to go with that one. Mike Sweet said, and Swade, thanks for that as well, man. Hey, nice avatar, by the way, too. CTSI on the weekly and daily. Okay, CTSI, Cartesi. Okay, cool name. Is there a daily and weekly here? Okay, so I'm on a 4 hour. 4 hour actually looks okay. Daily looks good as well. Actually, I'm going to write this one down too. This is interesting. CTSI. Okay, we do have a higher low right here. Beautiful. Hidden bullish evidence the whole way through. Absolutely beautiful. On low volatility. Great as well. Looking for this one to trade back up towards 120 or so. Long term, yeah, it actually does have a pretty damn good chart. So you actually are kind of approaching a macro range or a macro just resolution on this one. That would be on a weekly closure, obviously. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, let's just do it like this. That'd be obviously a closure above about 157. I'd even go as far as saying if this one closes above 137 on a weekly, I would call it resolved. And in this case, this one can probably roll quite a fair bit. Let's see. I'd be looking towards about 2.25 to 285 before the next sort of major consolidation, but a very good setup right here. Weekly volatility expanding, weekly RSI back in the bullish control zone. Good, quite good, man. Sweet. Doki says EGLD, please, sir. Sure. Okay. No, we already did this one. Yeah, we already did this one. But hold on. No time frames given. God damn it. I might have done a different time frame for you, but no time frames given, so I don't know where to go with it. I'm still looking at a top on this one after maybe a bounce. Any bounce that fails to get back above about 450 is just another lower high, and long term down, but short term bouncy. Short term still bouncy. Bruh, Mr. Style Exteriors, good morning to you, man. Let's follow up on Nord USD. Okay. What?
He said, can you chase my
Who?
style?
Okay.
Can you chase my super chat on Nord?
Yeah.
To be reviewed on Askendex exchange. Not
Okay. Yeah. I see him. Okay, yeah, we can do that. It looks like the same chart, essentially, so fair enough. But more power to you, sir. Okay, so 4 hour and daily. Pretty good right here. Pretty good right here. I forget, what did we say? I don't have, hold on. Can we go see this one on KuCoin? Yeah, so we charted this one out last time. I'm sure that I said something along the lines of like, as long as 311 holds, it's your next high or low. You do have hidden bullish evidence right there, and next move is up. Go back to this chart as well. I would be looking for a short-term pullback relatively soon, either somewhere around $6.50 to $7 or so. But overall, this is continuation. This is quite good, and I would be looking for the next few weeks to trade back up towards, I mean, maybe like $8.50 to $10. Actually, it's actually quite good. Interesting. Not bad actually. 4 hours just continuation right here. Short-term invalidation would be below about 436. So nice. Glad to see that one's working out for you. Not bad at all. All right, cool. Swade says UFO, please, sir. Okay, UFO. Oh yeah, this is the one versus Ethereum, right? And again, sorry. Oh, Tom Yao. Oh, you're so lovely, sir. You're so lovely. But you ain't getting the super chat. Just kidding, man. Let's see. Oh, that's really sweet though. Okay, cool. What do we have here on UFO? Okay, so we did call a top on this one a while ago at about not a buck 90, but 120, 120ish region. I do like this one long term, but I do still look at this one as corrective here. And when I say corrective, okay, short or medium term. Sorry. Okay, so that's not what you're concerned with anyways. I'm looking for another bounce off of about 78, and I'm looking for bounce targets somewhere around about 94 to 99 or so. I do think that this one will come down a little bit further overall before putting in, the next major low. But for right now, short term, it is bouncy. Hourly, same thing. Looking for a move back up somewhere around about 85 to 87. Above 87, I extend that move towards, 97 to 99 or so. Short term more bouncy. Long term, I think it does have one more low maybe, but I'd probably want to see it again to be fair. KRL USD, says Danny. Okay, KRL USD. Okay, let's see. All right. Okay, KRL USD on Krill. Keep it Krill, sir. I guess to give it the benefit of the doubt here, I suppose, you know, as long as you hold range lows, this is supposed to be a bullish consolidation, but not to be considered resolved as long as you're below about 285. Above 285, I look for a retest of your highs. Below 170, I do look for a big move down to 130. So sideways here is good for the Bulas, and I think that you're going to get at least another try somewhere around like 185. And if you do see a higher low right there, that would be a good sign. Sorry, the 4 hours more like this. You could even do it like this. 4-hour closure above 254 is where it actually call short-term range resolve to the upside and look for moves back towards 320 short-term. Yeah, kind of a weird-looking chart right there, to be fair. Let's see. Hey, what's up, Luke Faulkner? Luna 1-4 in daily. Okay, yeah, let's check in on this one. I think yesterday it was looking okay. Let's see how she's doing now for Luna's tunas. Yeah, hey, we got continuation here. All right, and this would be a good one to follow up on. All right, here we have Terra Luna, symbol LUNA versus the dollar. We've made a video on this one either yesterday or the day prior, looking for upside continuation towards about $69. We've gotten that upside continuation, so what now? Well, I typically do look for pullbacks based off the 1.618 and a consolidation between there and maybe like $60 low or so. But this is still going to be long-term good, I do suspect. Just short-term, a little bit of a pullback. Let's see. Actually, now that I look at the lower-term time frames, they disagree strongly with what I'm saying right now. So you know what? I'd only look for that pullback if you do see a 4-hour closure below about 65 and a quarter. Until then, I should be looking for another drive to the upside, in which case, I guess next major area of interest would be about $80. Kind of crazy right here. Daily BBWP continues to expand, so that is good. Daily RSI is obviously healthily within the bullish control zone. So long term, I still like this one for continuation. I'm a little bit split here because I typically do look for short term pullbacks based off that, but short term pullback is not the same thing as a reversal. I only invalidate bullishness on this one below about $52 now. Until then, short term pullbacks, long term continuation, and still, you know, maybe like a month and a half down the road, probably looking somewhere around $90 to $100, assuming invalidation is not hit. Let's just go briefly check it out over here. I just want to see where she's at. Maybe we get off the hourly, maybe go to 4-hour Stokes remain upside angle as long as above 67.5. Okay, so that would be a bit of a pain point right there. Daily remains vertical as long as above 61. Really wouldn't take too much to get this one to pull back, but to be fair, this is still long-term quite good. Hidden bullish evidence on 5-day RSI, 5-day BBWP expanding here as well. You know, maybe I should let go of short-term pullback ideas and not really talk too much about that. Instead, focus on the obvious here, which is continuation probably over the next few weeks to a month. Just be aware of the invalidation, and hopefully that was helpful on Luna, sir. Sweet. Crypto Ricardo says, good day, mate. Good day to you as well. SLND daily and weekly. Okay, SLND. All right. Soul End. Okay. Very, very new here. Very fucking new. I don't think I have a good opinion on this chart. I'll tell you what you already know. Typically goes down. It's a little bit too new, man. If you're looking at a daily and a weekly, this is just an unhelpful chart right here. The hopium is that you're putting in a daily low right here, at which case you would expect not to see any daily closures below 360. If you do, then it's just going to be more of the same, which is down to the depths of hell. Weekly is completely useless on this one, at least in my opinion. Yeah, just not enough history right there. 4 hours, even a downturn right here as well. So I'm very hesitant to call any sort of a reversal. I'd also call a reversal above about 510, looking for moves back up towards 7.5. Until then, very weak chart, very ugly chart as well, but not much going off of right there. Kurt Gibson, appreciate that, sir. Naka, we did that one earlier, Mr. Swade, so all good. Chad Reddix, EOS. Oh my God, EOS. Okay, EOS. All right. Wow, I'm curious to see where this one is nowadays. Yep, down in the depths of hell. Pretty awful, man. Anyways, you are looking at daily. Okay, daily, got it. Kind of similar to a lot of the other laggers that we've seen today. Do I think that you're putting in maybe a bit of a low right here? Possibly, yes. I would expect to see hidden bullish evidence, which you do not have. But I'm a lot more inclined to say that this one does try back up towards 440 or so. I only look for this one to absolutely fall apart with any sort of a daily closure below about 380. I don't even know when I made this chart, but it must have been a long time ago, something like that. Maybe the weekly still holds. Yeah, it does, but that's not what we want to be focusing on right now. I give it the benefit of the doubt. You know, again, whatever Bitcoin does, this one will very likely follow. But if Bitcoin dumps out, you probably do break the 380 region and come down towards 350, kind of nasty right there. Until then, I guess I'm short-term looking for another try towards the upside. Short-term timeframes are looking like they want to try and move towards 430 or so. Hard to get excited about this thing long-term as long as you're below, especially $5.50 if that's what you're looking for, like the macro move in this case. Until then, definitely a laggard, definitely relatively weak. And I do feel like I'm kind of giving you a bit of hopium there. It's probably going to be easier to watch whatever Bitcoin does in this case. Let's see. Where did I leave off? Suede is back again. Craft, please, sir. Don't need all caps, man, but all good. Craft USD over here. Not on TradingView. But we can look at it versus AVAX. So, all right. On Pangolin. It's been around for a ripe old time of about 1.5 weeks. This is not gonna be very helpful, man. Short and medium term. Well, there's barely even a short term on this one, so I don't know about medium term, sir. I'm sorry. I really don't have an opinion on a chart like this. If I'm looking at the very short term time frames, I guess if you put a fucking gun to my head, it's a Krown, figure it out or die. I'd say 0.082 is where I look for this one to just continue going down to the fucking depths of hell. Until then, I guess I look at this as a short-term reversal. Volume signature is there, which is okay. And I'm looking for this one to pop back up towards like almost 10 cents or 10 AVAXs. 0.10 is what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say. But I really don't trust analysis on a new chart like that. I'm going off of fumes right there. And I think it's important to let you know that I do not feel confident. I should really say that I don't even know. Probably more accurate. Wrapped Ethereum versus Zora, says Aaron. Okay. All right, let's try this. Zora, never seen this one. This is a new one for me. Zoracles, cool name. Let's see about the chart. You're looking at a 1 day and 5 day. I hope that it has it. It does. Hey, this one actually has an okay amount of history, I guess. Okay, 5 day. Okay, I think I see what's going on here. It's trying to put in trying to put in a higher term time frame, higher low. And actually would be looking for this one to try for an upside move from here. Do we have any bullish evidence? We do not. That would have made things a lot more easy. So I guess I'd just be using 440 in this case as a base. Below 440, I do look for this one to come back down around its September, October lows. Until then, short term, I'm looking for this one to try back up towards 730, maybe even as much as 8.25. Things would be things would look a lot better. Obviously back above your November highs. That's where I get just generally bullish on this one long term. Until then, short term, looking for continuation of bounce. Just be aware of where the pain points, be aware of where the invalidation is. 4 hour, looking for this one to beef, boobs, and Bitcoin. Oh, Turkish, it's good to see you, man. Good to fucking see you, brother. Oh man, I hope everything's going well over there, sir. Short term, I'm looking for this one to play out a bit of bullish evidence and try for some upside moves. And well, if it gets above those relevant regions, then sure, looks good. Tom Yao says, hey, sir, can you take a look at 3 hours and daily on ENJ? Yes. So this is this another metaverse one? I remember this one had a pretty good run like last week or something. Yeah. Now corrective, as you typically expect, multiple drops of bearish divergence off the highs. Not super extremes on daily BBWP, but they are there. They are present. Probably looking for this one to trade a little bit further south and try for a low somewhere around $3 to $3.15 or so. But what time frames are you looking at? Okay, you're looking at a 3 hour daily. 3 hour, more likely to bounce sooner rather than later. Maybe after one more swipe of about 3.25. Any bounce that essentially fails to get back above range highs at 385 is, well, going to lead towards that next downside move, obviously, with real targets down to about 295 to 290 even. That's what I'd be looking for on a potential higher low. Again, long term, this one does have a good setup here. Obviously, trends up and to the right. We will have hidden bullish evidence available on this thing, especially as long as it's above 290 in this case. But I do think that it probably trades a little bit further south after a short-term time frame bounce. Let's see what the weekly looks like. Split on this one too. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm not. I think a healthy amount of I don't know on the higher term time frames. I can really go either way on this one. I can tell you where I'd get bullish on this one, back above $4 very easily. Until then, short-term bouncy. I do think it eventually comes a little bit lower before trying for that higher low. That's just a personal opinion, not super married to that idea in this case. I'd get bearish on this one long term below about 260 or 269. That would look awful, but still pretty damn far away from there. I think you try for a daily low first, but daily low probably comes a little bit lower than where you're at right now. Invalidation again above about $4 for just general bullishness, and in this case I guess new all-time highs. I'm assuming, yeah, new all-time highs. Let's see. Jesus Vargas says, "Morning, sirs. Can't we care? We care, brother. You know, hey man, it's all good. You know that, and that's something that I hope to foster in this community. So it's great that people, you know, gel with that sort of a message, because look, at the end of the day, we do focus on trading here, and so there's naturally gonna be times where we're gonna be bullish and bearish. I mean, the markets don't go straight up or straight down. Kind of have to be able to, you know, go with that. Otherwise, otherwise it's a fun trip to wrecked city, as you and I definitely know myself." Kirk Gibson says, appreciate that, brother. IMX, I think we did that one earlier. This is Immutable X. Let's just double check. Yeah, breakdown here, and I think maybe we didn't look at this one today, but maybe it was yesterday. I forget, man. 1 and 4 hour. Yeah, below 650, bounces canceled, and I look for this one to come much further south. And when I say much further south, I mean down to like 560 to 570-ish region. Until then, short-term timeframes look a little bit more bouncy, can easily bounce up to like 7.25 and not do anything relevant for the higher-term timeframes. This does look like a major high as long as you're below about 8.25, however. But short-term, bouncy, and you know, if the bounce brings it back up above there in the next few days or next week or so, that'll look quite good. Until then, not the easiest chart here either, but if I'm looking at the 12-hour and daily, which is there is very minimal information available for, they don't look all that hot for what it's worth, but I wouldn't feel too confident on analysis on that, to be fair. Yahav says, HNT coin, please. Okay. This is Helium. All right. Okay. Helium, huh? Let's see. Range lows, $36. Below 36 bad. Where is good? Good is above about 47. Above 47, I do look for this one to continue towards prior all-time highs and very likely beyond for new all-time highs. Yeah, this would be new all-time highs right here. Let's see, what time frames are we looking at though? Oh, no time frames given, of course. Short term, actually looking for this one to give one more try towards the lows on this one. Short term, 37. Pray to Boolah Jesus for a bounce there. Otherwise, below 36 is where I get quite bearish on this one, looking for big moves to the downside, $32. So hoping is that this area just holds. Below there though, I do look for a big move to the downside. Also, again, whatever Bitcoin does, this one very likely follows. If Bitcoin continues with bounce, this one very likely bounces back up, probably somewhere around minimum like $43, and above 47 starts to look good. So just be aware of where those major areas are. Nimai says, good evening from Hawaii. Hawaii, nice, sweet. Man, should go to the Hawaii. It's probably warm there right now too.
Yes, we should.
You can't go to Hawaii. Europeans are banned. Mr. Plums, I see you, Mr. Plums. I don't miss those goddamn emoticons out of the side of my eye. Good morning to you, man. Good morning to you, sir. ZKT. Okay, this is another new one for me. ZKT. I mean, it actually rains in Hawaii a lot. It's literally like a tropical island. Down. Looking for this one to come back down to $52. I don't care. It's probably warm. It is warm rain, but I would rather have cold weather than rain. Rain is awful, man. Daily bearish divergence. So I would be looking for a bounce off that region. But, well, I'd want to see a bounce off this region and then come back to it after that. But yeah, short-term down, a little bit of a short-term downside move there. Hourly, I imagine same. Yeah, same. Hidden bearish divergence on that last little high right there. Looking for this one to trade back down towards prior range lows at 51 or so. Try for a bounce after that and pray to Boolah Jesus, sir. Aaron Partridge, welcome to the cave as well, sir. Lou Senamo. Hopefully I'm saying that properly. Why are you in that country? Because my girlfriend's here and I actually do like it. I just bought it. I like it so much. I just bought a house here too. Hey man, I appreciate that. Thank you for that nice positive message, man. That's awesome. John Dude says netwerk. Okay, I'm just gonna type it in here. Sounds like a German trying to say like netwerk. Yes, we give you the netwerk. It's like, oh dear Lord. 4 hour and daily and weekly. There ain't no weekly on this, sir. It's been around for a couple months. That's not very helpful. Daily, barely any, not even a 55 on this one, so I don't have an opinion on that. 12 hour, we got at least we got something. Hidden bullish divergence on the last low. That one certainly already played out. This one is actually still okay, and I think we looked at this one yesterday. I'd actually look at this one as still trending to the upside as long as you do hold 628 above there. I do look for this one to trade sideways and up outside of this and make new highs, and looking at targets towards $8 plus. Be looking at a pullback at $8 and then come back to it after that. That also does imply invalidation below about 628 on a 4 hour closure. I'm looking for this one to trade back down towards prior range lows at $5.50. So yeah. Dami says, "Hey Krown, love your content. Thanks, man. Sweet. That's super awesome. Please take a look at track. It keeps teasing me and I'm getting fed up." Okay. All right. It's such a tease. That track network, such a tease. Sound like Bruno? Okay. No, I sound like Hitler talking about cryptos. Well, you can. It's not like Voldemort. You can say his name. Like, what the fuck? All right, track. It keeps. I don't know what it's teasing you for, man. This one's just been ranging, and I think it's going to range for a little bit longer too. You probably get another bounce off of your 140-ish region, but I wouldn't call this one a breakdown as long as you're above 1.25. That's where things start to look rather poor for this one, back down to 90 to 92 cents or so. Until then, short term sideways with probably short term. Actually, I did say short term on the daily with one more test to the downside. No, short term looking for this one to pop back up somewhere around about $1.85 to $1.90 or so. No range resolution though, as long as you're below about 240. The network, say like Crypto. The network coin, very bullish. Yo Dream 34 says water break, 5-second break. Thanks, man. All right. All good. You tried. Ice Sniper 33 says, "I tried to play the newest Zelda game and I hated it." Really?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Elsa loves Breath of the Wild. She calls it Breath of the Wild. It is. I'm gonna stream Breath of the Wild. It's like English, motherfucker. Tom Yao says, "Any thoughts on QNT on the daily?" I remember we looked at this one yesterday and it was quite weak. Let's see if it's still of that same accord. And yes. Still quite weak, but I'm probably looking for, it's probably going to test around 190 again, and I probably would be looking for another bounce off 190, but a very weak chart. Well, you might even be saying the bounce from right here. I mean, you do have multiple drives of bullish divergence on the 4 hour, so maybe one more run at your lows, but I feel a lot more strongly about a bounce from this region. I don't think that you're continuing to new major lows before bouncing first. I'll be wrong on that with a 4 hour closure basically below your current 185 low, and at that point, I guess down to 165, but I'm a lot more inclined to look for a short-term bounce there first, and then probably a lower high. You know, maybe somewhere below about 240 would look pretty bad. Oh yeah, I'll turn the sound off. Yeah, again, guys, we had to turn off the super chats like a while ago. So for all the people who have commented in like the last 30 minutes, please read the pinned message. I understand that can sometimes just be easy to ignore, but we just can't read them. We got too many here. You got too many. Ryan Riggins, welcome to the Cape as well, sir. Serious Laugh, what's up, man? Ethereum USD still looking good from 4 hour to weekly. Let's go check it out. I believe so. Let's see, is the correction nearly over? Yeah, I do think so. Actually, I do think so. Should we record one for Ethereum? Let me just double check my videos for today. I think we might have. Oh no, we got more. Okay, we got room for more. Yeah, let's do this one. All right, cool. And let's actually adjust this for a 4 hour time frame because we're going to go down there and spend some time there. We can get rid of one of these. We don't need that. That is just too much. All right, here we have Ethereum versus the dollar on Finex. And what do we have? We do have a little bit of a slow and sluggish breakup, but that is okay. Anyways, short-term time frames on a 4 hour is where it's all at right now, because we did take out, or Ethereum took out, the $4,500 high from 25th of November. That was the big one that kind of made us more, long-term bullish on this one. And first things first, we did hit our almost our $4,800 target, very, very close right there. But pull back from a retest of your prior optimize is always to be expected in these cases. And it does look like we're getting our first semblance of a higher low right here. So that does imply that 4450 is going to be an invalidation area. So 4450 right there invalidates bullishness on this one. But for right now, we see a lot of things that you want to be seeing. Hidden bullish divergence on this current 4 hour low is possible with any sort of a closure here or higher in the next three minutes, actually. 4 hour BBWP is contracting throughout this correction. So that is good, saying that this is still very likely continuation of trend. Again, be aware of where the invalidation is. And I'd be looking for it to trade sideways and up from there. Also, 4 hour Jewel kind of played out its little corrective move right there as well. Daily, still good. I just want to see it go into the bullish control zone on daily RSI. Daily BBWP is expanding from very, very low territory, so we're likely looking at a major move here. 5 day, same thing as well. Actually, not even expanding just yet, but still pretty damn good as 5 day RSI enters into the bullish control zone. And we play out a pullback. Let's look at Ethereum over here. And then what we can do is we can talk about potential continuation targets. Daily remains upside posture as long as above 42.40. Great. 2 day is freshly up above 42. 20, even better. 5-day is going to turn back up above 47.50. So still has a little bit of work to do there on the long term. 4-hour, we do have a nice trend line coming here on 4-hour Stokes right around 4,600. We'll turn back up again. So I'd like to see that confirmed. And then, yes, I would be looking for this one to retest around the highs of this rally, probably in the next few days, somewhere around 4,800 or so. And then I'll be looking for continuation over the next couple weeks, actually. So where would continuation targets come in around? Well, let's see. Do I already have them plotted? I do have them plotted, so that's good. Where would they be? And let's actually do this for, I'm going to take more conservative targets here. So 48, basically 4,900 would be an area of interest. However, I would not be looking for a major high right there, just a bit of a pullback. After the short-term continuation, and then long-term over the next few weeks, I am looking for major highs somewhere around 5,400 to 5,500 or so. I think that's also confluent perhaps with our long-term look on this one out of the, it's confluent actually with a long-term look on this one as a cup and handle that was baking in basically like all summer, which is also confluent with the macro extension from our 2018 base actually at the 1.618 at about 5,400. So I do like that area for potential cautionary highs, of course, where again, invalidation below about 44.50 until then. It does look quite good here. So I do respect that. And, if it does hit the invalidation, would that invalidate long-term bullishness? Actually, no. It would imply a move back down to about 41 to 4,200 or so. I would invalidate long-term bullishness below 4,100 on a daily. Until then, this one actually playing very, very technically here. So I do respect this. And, well, there you go for Ethereum. Hopefully that was helpful, sir. Sweet. Let's see. Henry Cruthofer says SXP foreign daily. Okay, SXP. This is Swipe. All right, on Binance. Daily, again, laggard of a chart here. If we're going to a 4-hour, maybe we get a little bit of a bouncy bounce. Yeah, it probably does bounce here, at least short term backed up to 432 to 433. Short term, still downside angled as long as you're below about 240 in this case. Above 240, I do look for this one to actually have a short term breakout, somewhere around about 260 in that case. Daily, daily, definitely a laggard in this market, so definitely not my favorite chart, but I guess the hopium is that you're doing something like this. And in long-term resolution above about 260 very likely does imply big moves up at that point. First target would be about $3, and after that, the weeks following, probably looking at like $4 or so. So what would that imply? Invalidation, obviously below about 210 or so. 210 on a daily. This one gets invalidated for bullishness and probably gets sent back down to the depths of hell. But until then, this looks like a complex higher low on probably your weekly. Yeah, something like that. Just want to see it actually prove itself above those critical regions. That's where it starts to look really, really good for the higher term timeframes. Rishab says, could check Merit Circle. Okay, MC, I remember this one. And you're saying Binance listing pump and dumped it slightly, but still recovering. Okay, so let's go over here. Oh, so this one was a listing pump. All right, fair enough. Oh, wow, that one got wrecked. Let's see. Okay, so let's actually redo this chart because this one has something new going on now. All right, so when you see something like this, where you have higher low, higher low, higher low, and then it breaks that higher low structure and you get your first lower low, it's time to be on lower high watch. So while I was bullish on this one before and we almost hit our target, I think it just missed actually, but it did miss, to be fair. Any sort of a lower high below 0.0024 is going to be the etchings of an initial beginning downtrend, and at that point have to be looking towards 0.00168. So these next few days here are very, very important. Can come back down and retest its current lows. It's fine. Just don't want to see a lower high anywhere below that level. If you see something like that, that is going to be a good indication that this one is reversing for a while. The daily doesn't look great here, to be fair, but it's really not going off of much at the same time. So, maybe I'm being a little bit too critical of something that really doesn't have much information. 2 hours, looking a little bit short-term toppy, but that's again not a death sense. A death sense is either a closure on a new low or a lower high confirmation over here. That's where things start to look really, really bad. Until then, I'm looking for this one to kind of whip around short-term. Probably try one more move. So hopefully that was helpful. Let's see. Jack Assman says Sol Ethereum. Sure. Daily, weekly. Okay. Solana. Ethereum. Yeah, if I would have known that one was having like a Binance or just any sort of an exchange listing, probably wouldn't have been looking for the more aggressive target there. So that is certainly on me. Looking at Solana versus Ethereum, maybe we have a better exchange to go to. No, this is the best one to go to, I guess. All right, so in this case, I do look for Solana to very likely outpace Ethereum, but for right now, it is range bound. And I do expect that you trade within this range for a little bit longer. So I wouldn't call this one resolved until you actually get above about 0.54, and then I'd be looking for this one to trend towards new highs. Weekly, not really much to go off of right there, unfortunately. 4 hour tells me that we do likely play at another, fill out the range a little bit more. I don't think that you're resolving this one like today or tomorrow for that reason. I mean, we are seeing extremes on BBWP here, so very likely does trade sideways and then probably comes back down to the median of the range. But overall, I would be leaning towards Solana being bullish versus Ethereum. I think that I just think that this takes a little more time to resolve, man. I know that's not too helpful in this case. The 2-day is obviously bullish right here. We do have a higher low as well. It's just, it's probably going to take at least like, half a week to a week for that one to actually have a legitimate try, in my opinion. But hey, fair enough. If I'm wrong, you'll know that I'm wrong by it essentially just closing above 54. If you see something like that, trends beginning, and Solana should very likely outpace Ethereum, or maybe just hold its value better than Ethereum. That would also be rather concerning. Okay, cool. Mr. Kazim, good to meet you, man. And welcome to the cave, sir. Wapiti says, Elsa, Finnish hero. Sima Hayas. Oh, the ski sniper. I've actually read about. It's your World War II hero, actually. They killed a bunch of Russians, in fact. Well, you should know him because he's probably the reason why you're not speaking Russian. So there's that. But then again, you're also on the fucking Nazi side, so maybe be aware of that too. Yeah, you think that's funny, don't you? Vince says, can you look at Decentraland? Yes, we can. And this would be a good one to record as well, seeing as I have a lack of videos for today. Been lazy on those ones. Wow, there is a shit ton of exchanges to trade mana on now. I guess whenever you go parabolic, everyone wants to list you. Yeah, the best marketing is just number go up. All right, so this chart's way too convoluted now. Let's rechart this one. Okay, here we have Decentraland symbol MAN8 versus the dollar, and I do believe that we hit our $6 targets from our prior videos, which was hit way back on over here. That is good, obviously. Going up is better than going down, but we did hit extremes on volatility, and we got multiple drives of bearish divergence on daily RSI. So, of course, there's going to be bounces along the way, and I should not be, definitely not bearish on something like this, but not looking for like a prolonged correction, maybe better said, as long as it does hold even its short-term range, which is right here, basically. It's pretty much on it. So it's very, very close. Actually, I have it a little bit lower than that, down to about 410 in this case. But I would not be looking for any sort of continuation trending moves towards new highs as long as you're below about 483. Above there, the short-term and medium-term time frame ranges look a lot better. Still, I think that this one does take its time as it does work off of extreme conditions. But for right now, sideways at best. And if you do break below 410, I would look for this corrective phase to play out for a lot longer of a time, and for this one to come down somewhere around 350 to 360 or so. It would still be very long-term good, obviously. Again, if you go to the monthly here, this is a phenomenal chart, but you can easily have a backfill on last month open to like low $3 region and still be macro bullish. I mean, this is continuation. It's very, very good. Weekly, same thing, and actually 360 would be the weekly backfill right there as well. So be aware of that. And it should also be known that you did hit weekly almost 100 percentile on BBWP, and we would have we will have bearish evidence if this one does put in a local high right here. So below 360 is a very critical area for a daily. Below there, I would call this a local high. That means that bearish evidence is available, and I would be looking for targets down towards that 290-ish region, low $3 region. That's at the point where I'd be looking for a major low. Of course, this one probably does play alongside Bitcoin, meaning that if Bitcoin does break down, you probably see this one break down first. Oops, it's not mana. And if Bitcoin does play to bounce first, then this one obviously very likely follows as well. Looking at it from a momentum oscillator perspective, we do see that 4 hour Stokes are going to be up as long as above 437, currently trading below that. Daily is going to turn back above 520, so I'm leaning a lot more towards sideways correction here. 12 hour turns up above 460 in this case. So overall, long term very good. Short term, medium term, I'm leaning a lot more towards correction. I will be not necessarily wrong on that because, again, as long as it holds 410, you can't really be looking for like a major correction here. But as long as it holds 410, I guess I do give it at least one more shot to, pop back up. but be aware of where the major areas are. That's going to be 483, relevant for the short and medium term timeframes. Above there, then I'd feel a lot more confident with calling this probably your next major higher low. It doesn't imply that we're going to trend towards new ultimate just yet. That condition would be met with a full hour or especially a daily above 5.25, and then we could start to talk about major targets towards the upside yet again, somewhere around about very likely another move around our $6 prior highs, and then long term looking at $7 to $7.50 in the weeks to follow that. So this one's kind of at a more interesting point right here, but until we get resolution on that, I don't really have any further things to say about it. So hopefully that was helpful, and there you go for Decentraland Mana, sir. Cool. Jacob Zummalin says AMC. Oh man, going into the meme stock drawer, huh? AMC breakdown, baby. Oh yeah, this one's looking like shit. Oh yeah, it's looking like shit, man. I am looking for a bounce here, yes, but do not confuse bounce with reversal. This is entering into what we spoke about a long time ago at about the right time as well. We have lower highs and we have the same lows. You probably get one more bounce here. Bounce maybe comes back up to 35, maybe even $40, but I am massively bearish on this as long as you're below 40. What is this? 46 or 40, or yeah, about $46. I imagine GameStop's probably the same thing as well, but probably bounces here first. I don't think you're going to break down necessarily today or this week. If I'm wrong on that, obviously you're going to see this one just shoot through yesterday's lows and trade all the way back down to $14.50, and that's really where this thing does belong. I mean, long term, this thing's coming back down below $15, but I expect that you play it a bounce first and then maybe break down like early 2022. Pretty bad chart right there. Yeah, very, very ugly. GameStop, same shit over here. These meme stocks have absolutely no business doing this shit to begin with. GameStop not as bad, to be fair. I mean, still has higher lows here, so can't really be that bearish on it. But yeah, same shit. Ted Johansson, hey, welcome to the cave as well, man. Thank you for that, sir. Okay, we got that. Let's see. Oh, Escape Art says it's not. That's not true. You mean regarding Hawaii? Sometimes it rains for like 15 minutes to an hour, then it stops for a few hours, then it rains at night again. Ah, interesting. Not like Seattle. Yeah, I'm aware that Seattle is like literally gray for half a year, man. And thank you for that, Yakaroni. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. And Reef Keepers as well. Welcome to the cave. We are 2 hours and 10 minutes into this video. That is insane because we cut off the chats like literally an hour ago. It seems like that is unbelievable. That is unbelievable, man. All right, again, I want to say massive thank you for all the support. I see that we got 1.7 thousand likes on this video. That's more than the people watching. Just blown away, man. Just fucking blown away. I appreciate the generosity with the support on this channel. It's incredible. Hopefully I didn't scare too many people with Bitcoin analysis today. Again, as far as the short-term timeframes go, same shit as before. Below 56,000 bad on an hourly closure, looking for a move back down to 54.5, bounce there, or 54 even, bounce somewhere around there. I don't really look for any major moves to the downside, meaning like $50,000 to $51,000 targets, as long as Bitcoin's closing above about 53,000 especially, or 53.5 for that matter. Range resolution to the upside, plus technically a falling wedge resolution to the upside above about 59 on a 4-hour closure, or an hourly above 59,350. It does have a measure move and implied target towards 65. I would express major caution along the way with stopping areas around 61.5 and then also 63 to 64,000. Anyways, with that said, we'll be back on tomorrow with a nice little video update. I want to wish everyone well and wish everyone the best. Take care, and until next time.
Write it, code it, name it, tweet it, mine it, stack it, live it, dream it, post it, scan it, charge it, send it, do it, and receive it. Trade it, buy it, sell it, store it, run it, list it, first rename it. Crypto logic. Pump it, hack it, lose it, dump it, sell it, ditch it, XR pitch it, copy, paste it, nudge it, test it, build it, try it, bend it, fork it, hype it, pump it, dump it, rinse, repeat, but quick relocate. Pause it, list it, send it, burn